What's good, everyone? OJ here. Welcome.
Do you know how long I've been waiting for this? I waited 22 years to the point that I gave up on it happening. Also, the Twitter profile picture on the Kirby Air Riders page, it makes me think there's either a slot car mode or a toy race track.
Toy race track could be a possibility. Listen, I have to troll a little bit. I've been having fun with people online all day, like Metroid fans. The funny thing is, I'm a Metroid fan too. So it's like, I also like Metroid. Is Metroid Prime like my favorite? No, but I've pretty much beaten every single Metroid Prime game. I like the Metroid Prime titles. They're good. Metroid Prime is very good. But it's freaking hilarious to watch Metroid Prime fans squirm because they didn't get what they wanted when they wanted it. Like literally. And now they have some type of eternal beef, like Rocky versus Drago. You know what I'm saying? Like Drago, Kirby killed their best friend, you know, like Kirby killed one of the Chozo or something like that. It is absolutely hilarious. So I've been doing a little bit of trolling, having a little bit of fun today on Twitter. It's been actually pretty good. So I'm enjoying that. Shout outs to Justin. Thank you for the $19.92. That special 1992. That's the first Kirby. So that's how you get that 1992 animation there from Kirby. $19.92. Appreciate that, Mr. Justin. Appreciate it. Let's go. Hokage and Stream Ninja starting out. And I know, you've been waiting a long time. Combo breaks to that, man. You've been waiting a hot minute for Kirby Air Riders to come back, you know? So yeah. I'm not mad at that. I'm still hyper Metroid Prime. I'm not delusional that it's coming out next month. Yeah, I think people some of the Metroid fans, they just felt like they needed a release date. But the problem that I have is that they think that Kirby somehow interferes with that, which it doesn't, you know.
Don't blame Kirby, blame Bandai for not making a good Metroid game.
That's true. That's true. If Bandai Namco made a good Metroid game, we probably would have got it years ago. But I mean, it's their fault and it's Nintendo's fault. It's like both of their faults. Like Bandai couldn't make the game up to their, and Nintendo picked the wrong developer. Like Nintendo, it's also Nintendo's fault for thinking that they can go with Bandai and for them to see if they can fix it. I mean, listen, they tried Metroid Other M. They went with another developer. That didn't work. They tried it again with Metroid Prime 4. That didn't work. So that's on Nintendo for repeating the same, you know, mistake. Yes, they went with a different developer and Bandai Namco is more reliable, maybe, than Koei Tecmo. But Nintendo also, you know, had some issues on their own. But yeah, I see what you're saying, though. Part of the blame, definitely Bandai Namco for not being able to make a good Metroid game. But Nintendo picked them, so... So yeah, I find it weird when Nintendo YouTubers go overboard. They should know how Nintendo is by now. I find it hilarious that Nintendo YouTubers that have been around since like the Wii U and 3DS days legitimately still get absolutely befuddled when one game gets announced before another, and then they act like it's some type of travesty when there's probably going to be a Nintendo Direct and they're probably going to announce Metroid Prime 4 release date, and they're probably going to announce Metroid Prime 2 and 3 Shadow dropping in September. They're probably going to announce a bunch of cool stuff. And I just find it crazy that Nintendo content creators that have been around the block, not young guns that really were eating Cheetos and, you know what I'm saying, and like drinking Capri Suns when Metroid, you know, when Nintendo started doing directs, but actual Nintendo content creators, like millennial Nintendo content creators, right, that make the same mistakes over and over and get angry at the same things over and over and over and end up being wrong over and over and over again. That's the hilarious thing about it. And they say, oh, well, I didn't know. And it's like, I didn't know for like 10 years now, you know. That's the craziest thing. It's like, they're always like, I didn't know, no, I didn't. That's what they always do, and it's funny. So yeah, Justin with another $3 dono. Let's go.
Also, I'm feeling that Kirby is coming out September, and if not, maybe November.
I think at this point, I think it's safe to say Kirby's probably coming out September, but I could be wrong. Like, I definitely could be wrong. But I mean, if they're doing a 45-minute direct, I don't think the release date is going to be that far after the announcement. I mean, that's a really close release date, though. That's like cutting it super close. But if you go watch the Mr. Sakurai grab bag on Kirby Air Riders, I'm almost positive that he didn't know that he was going to be making another Kirby game at that time. Now, that video came out 2 years ago, but I don't think this Kirby game took a long time to make. I think this took a year and a half or so. In that original Kirby Air Riders video that he made, and he revealed that that game took about 3.5 months to make. Now, I know Sakurai is super efficient. He's actually one of the most efficient developers in the history of gaming. If you look at a lot of his masterpieces, they've all been made in like 2 years or less, and that's major Super Smash Brothers games. So I don't think this Kirby game took like years and years and years to make. That's why I think that Super Smash Brothers is already in development, because I think this Kirby game was a year and a half or so. I think there's going to be a lot of elements to it, but I don't think it's going to be anything in terms of super crazy visual graphics, or, I mean, obviously it's going to look a lot better than Kirby Air Riders on the GameCube, but I think this game is really just going to pack it full of great content and a lot of fun and a lot of different things to do. But I don't think it's going to be some type of 5-year developed Kirby game that some people are trying to make it out to be. I don't think it's that. I think it's a year and a half, maybe tops 2 years, maybe tops 2 years. But I don't think it really stretched more than that. I think it was a quick, somewhat quick project. So we'll find out tomorrow when we look at the game, you know. Let's see here. Talk about the Kirby Air Riders Direct tomorrow. So let's talk about Kirby characters. Listen, I'm not going to be talking about all the Kirby characters. I mean, you can, Connor, but I'm not going to be. So let me know what you think about that. Let me know, but I'm not talking about it, but you can feel free to talk about it, my boy. You can say everything that you want to say. I will be open ears. I'll be open ears to listen to what you've got to say, but I will personally not be talking about the characters all day and all that. I'm good. We're going to find out tomorrow. So we're going to find out tomorrow what's going on with that, you know? So I will not be doing that. But like I said, you're free to talk about it. You and Justin. Justin is a big Kirby guy. So if you want to tag Justin, and Caitlin, if you want to tag Caitlin and Justin in the chat, you can talk to him about it too if you want. Oh my gosh. Let's see. Your boy says this is really nothing to be upset over. It really isn't, man. People are acting super weird. They're crashing out. They're throwing temper tantrums. They're throwing hissy fits, and I think it's actually pretty funny. You know, shout outs to Joey Ferris. You know what I'm saying? He's the biggest fan of this channel. He's my biggest fan. You know, I know he loves me. No, he doesn't. He's blocked me for years now. But yeah.
I think he has been thinking about ideas for a sequel for a long time now. So I'm sure once they start working, it went by fast.
Yeah.
And sorry, Connor, I'm good. Lol. Just saw that you attacked one of our most faithful soldiers, OJ. I hope you know this means war. We'll go to war with every one of you Kirby fans now. Battle Screech.
Oh, man. You know what? I'm sorry, guys. Yo, I gotta do this, though. I gotta do the combo breaker. I gotta do the 30-minute overclock, because we've got so much to talk about today.
Overclock.
We won't be able to do Mario Kart Monday today, guys. I'm sorry about that. No Mario Kart today, because we have so much to talk about between Pokemon Legends ZA, between Kirby, between Metroid, between the Nintendo Direct that's probably happening in September, between opening night live Gamescom. Like, I've got a ton that we've got to go over and topics. Plus, Connor needs to tell us everything about the characters in Kirby. So we've got a ton of stuff. So we'll definitely do Mario Kart again at some point this week. But yeah, opening night live for Gamescom is tomorrow. So I'm going to be streaming that. So it's going to be a dual stream tomorrow. Tomorrow I got to wake up super early. I'll be streaming from, 4 a.m. to the 45 minutes, and then I'll take a break, and then I'll be back probably about an hour or so before Gamescom, and then we're going to talk about Gamescom. So Gamescom is going to be a thing as well. So we're going to talk about that, and we're going to go over predictions, or you guys' predictions and stuff. So it's going to be a big day tomorrow. Tomorrow's a huge day as well. So yeah.
Also, Pokemon ZA Online looks actually pretty fun with friends.
I'm interested to see how much depth that online mode has. Like, I'm cautiously optimistic right now. Cautiously optimistic about Pokemon Legends Z8 Online. I think it looks good, though. I think it looks good, but we'll see how long and kind of like what they do. But yeah. Not excited for Trash Kirby Riders game. Looking forward to Starcross World, though. I don't think Kirby Air Riders is going to be trash. I mean, Masahiro Sakurai, he's the creator of Kirby Nintendo, so there's going to be a certain level of polish that only a creator can do. So he's the one who created it. So you're saying it's trash, but the guy who literally created the game that we all love, know and love Kirby, he's the one who's making this game. So I don't think it's really going to be trash in that respect. And on top of that, he also creates Super Smash Brothers. I mean, I don't recall Sakurai ever making a bad game. Not from what I can recall. So I don't think it's going to be trash. I honestly don't think so.
That man. Lol JK.
No, it's all good. Shout outs. Thank you for the $3. Yeah, so I don't think, and thank you for the $2. General Zamora says, busy Tuesday for gaming. Yes, sir. Shout outs. Yeah, so I don't think this game is going to be trash at all. I really don't. Like I said, I've never played a bad Sakurai game, to be honest. I mean, there might be games that you don't like as much, but I've never played one that I can outright say is bad. You know, all the games that he's made are pretty good. Varying levels of good, though. Obviously, varying levels of good. So, but I've never played a game where I'm just like, man, this game sucks, like from Sakurai. Never happened, for me at least, you know? Just put some respect on Kirby and Sakurai. You gotta put some respect on Sakurai. Like, if anybody was making this outside of Sakurai, then I'd be like, okay, you know, whatever, right? Although, listen, from a review standpoint, Kirby Air Riders got absolutely destroyed. Like, the Metacritic is bad. Like, it's like a 68, but listen, I don't always look at, you know, user reviews, but the difference between people who played Kirby Air Riders, like the fans, and people who reviewed it, there's a stark difference between the two. Kirby Air Riders, when it comes to the game itself, is fondly looked upon amongst many GameCube fans out there. People think it's a great game. People still play the game to this day, the City Trials and stuff like that. It runs at 60 FPS. It's a good game. You know what I'm saying? But the reviews slammed it for being repetitive, for being kiddie, for being all sorts of stuff. So it's got like a 68 average on Metacritic, but the user score is like 8 point something. And that was before people did review bombing. You know, that was before the whole review bombing arc. So I'm more inclined to believe people who put reviews 20 years ago, user reviews, than not at this point where it's all just industrialized for hate. So it's like an 8. You know, I played Kirby Air Riders. I kind of see it more as like a 7 out of 10. That's kind of how I see the game, a 7 or 8 out of 10. I don't see it as like a 6 out of 10. Like Drag Cross Drive's like a 6 out of 10. You know, or Drag and Drive. I mean, this Kirby Air Riders is better than Drag and Drive. That's like a 6 out of 10. This is more like a 7 or 8 out of 10. You know, so I don't think it's going to be a bad game personally. Let's see here. Like, I know you guys want Sakurai to show Maglador, Susie. I would like to see Bandana. Yeah, that'd be great if they showed all those. Yes, that would be awesome. I don't know if all that's gonna happen, Connor. That'd be really cool if they did show all of those. That'd be super cool. I'd be down for it. Combo breaks. Sakurai to Metroid Prime 4. If it's canceled, it's canceled. I know, seriously. Gamescom opening night live is tomorrow morning. I forgot it's a European event. Yeah, it's gonna be tomorrow at I think 11 a.m. my time PT. So I'm gonna start streaming probably like around like 9 something 10. So we're gonna go live an hour before, and we're gonna have plenty of time to get you guys ready for all that. So shout outs to Harden for showing up to the stream today. What's good? Let me make sure I go over shout outs too. I haven't said what up to a lot of you guys. We just got right into it. So remember, if you guys drop a dono today, make sure you put your music requests. We've already got lots of people who've dropped donos, but no music requests. So if you guys want something, let me know and I'll drop it. So Metroid fan, if you want to put something in the chat, General Zamora, Justin, you've already dropped multiple donos. So if you want to put some music, that's fine. So yeah, shout outs guys, appreciate the donos. Already 40 on the combo board, 5 combos away, overclocks away from a 45-minute extension tonight. Let's go.
There's so much to Kirby Air Ride. Honestly, it's Nintendo Twisted Metal in some ways. Lol.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of different things to the game. I think like I said, it's a fun game. It's a fun little game. You know, Nintendo put it together pretty quickly. That's why, I mean, even on the GameCube, like the environments, it's not necessarily like a super detailed game, like a lot of the background environments and stuff like that. I mean, it took them 3.5 months to put it together. It was quick, you know. But Sakurai did the best he could with the time and budget he was given. You know, and he made he made a decent game. But I get why people didn't like it back then. It's kind of like a cult classic type of thing, you know. It did make Player's Choice, but Player's Choice, it used to be like 1 million, but then it got like lowered to like 500,000, then it got lowered to like 250,000. So I don't know how much Kirby Air Riders sold, but it was Player's Choice. So I mean, it sold at least above 250,000 units. But back then in that day, if a game was developed in 3.5 months and you sold 250,000 units at, let's just say, an average of $40 to $50, or let's just say $40 because the games were 50, and then Player's Choice, that's 20. So let's just say $40, $40. I mean, you obviously made plenty of money back. Yo, Rune Time with the $5. Unfortunately, whenever you use the Streamlabs direct memes, they break the alert box. So that's just gonna keep on looping for forever. I'm pretty sure that's Torchic. Very buff though, like a JoJo Torchic. So shout outs. I think that's what it looks like. Thank you for the $5. I'm hyped for tomorrow. Can I get some music from Pokemon Oras? Yes, you can. I'll get that for you next. And then Kriosa Bomb with the $3 says, music selection, mute. So you want no music. All right, I got you. I got you guys on both of those. Shout outs to Rune Time. Appreciate that. Let's get back to 48. And then also Kriosa Bomb with the 3 coming through to 51. So we got another extension, 45 minutes. Next one up at 60. We got an hour extension as well. Combo breaks, guys. Appreciate that. Let's get this overclock played as well. Shout out.
Overclock Buster!
Pokemon Oras. Trainer battle music. Thank you so much, Rune Man. Rune time, baby. Appreciate that. So yeah, the Torchic breaks the box, but that's okay. We can fix it just by simply doing that. Let's go. All right, epic trainer battle music. Hey OJ, Joey first react head out to me on Twitter and been interesting exchange. Okay, he reacted to you. I don't know what happened to your typing there, but he reacted to you. Go ahead and DM me that, Casual Noob. I'll take a look at it. Nah, Metroid Prime is set for 2027. I know, just it's gonna be delayed 2 years. Let's go. I'm thinking Kirby for September, Metroid for November. Age of Imprisonment for December. I mean, that's possible. Age of Imprisonment could slip to 2026 because it's winter this winter, and this winter actually extends to next year. So Age of Imprisonment could be next year, but I mean, we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, there's also Splatoon Raiders. You know, I thought maybe Splatoon Raiders could be September, but I mean, we'll see. You know, there's still a number of games. What's up, Dane? What's up, Dan Dips? Welcome. You meant Mute City? All right, I got you. Mute City. You didn't want me to be mute. You just wanted it to be Mute City. Let's go. Let's see. People got to stop riding the Smash Bros. Ultimate wave about talking about Air Riders. Be realistic, since the first part got a terrible 60s Metacritic. Nothing to be excited about.
Can I get
yet.
some Kirby Air Ride music? Also, the music, it's probably going to be great in the game.
Yeah, the music's probably going to be really good.
They can add the mirror ability, where when you spin, it leaves a shield behind you.
I see. So here's the thing, Nintendo. Like, shout outs to Justin. Thank you for another $3. Here's the thing, Nintendo. You're saying that it got a terrible Metacritic score because of that, but have you actually played it? That's what I want to ask. It's just a simple question, like yes or no, have you played it? Everybody who's actually played Kirby Air Riders, nobody actually thinks that it's a 6 out of 10. Like, nobody actually thinks that. Once again, back in the GameCube days, games were reviewed and things were looked at a little bit differently when it comes down to it. Go back and play Kirby Air Riders. It's not a 6 out of 10 game. It's not a terrible 6 out of 10 game, especially if Dragon Drive is a 6 out of 10 game in today's day. Kirby Air Riders definitely is not a 6 out of 10 game. Go back and play it, but I'm guessing you haven't played it. You just looked at the Metacritic and said that it's terrible and saying that people are just riding Smash Ultimate Wave. We're not just riding Smash Ultimate Wave. We're also seeing what Masahiro Sakurai did with Kid Icarus Uprising. Kid Icarus Uprising was also a game, I mean, people... Listen, I grew up with Kid Icarus, but Kid Icarus was never looked at as any type of massive, incredible game. And it was kind of somewhat critically, I mean, there was no reviews like that back then, but people kind of saw it as, okay, yeah, it's just like a game, just like Kirby Air Riders. It's just kind of like a game that Nintendo had. They made 2 of them before Uprising. They made a game on the NES, then they made a game, the NES game was made by like 2 people, and then they made a Game Boy game, and then it was dead for like a decade plus. And then it came back, and it was incredible. And people were kind of looking at Kid Icarus like, okay, I guess, yeah, sure, we want him back because he was in Super Smash Brothers. So before you start saying that it's bad just because, I'm telling you, you got to look at the circumstances around the game and what happened. Once again, people did not expect Kid Icarus Uprising to be what it was. And when it was revealed, it was incredible. But go back and look at Kid Icarus. Like, look at Kid Icarus on the NES, look at Kid Icarus on the Game Boy. You're not going to be like, oh yeah, this is going to be an incredible game. Sakurai turned that into something, literally, it blows Kid Icarus 1 and Kid Icarus 2 out of the water. Like, literally destroys it. So, I get what you're saying. You look at the Metacritic, but I mean, if Metacritic existed back in the NES and Game Boy days, Kid Icarus probably would have got pretty low scores. I don't think Kid Icarus would have gotten incredible scores. It would have probably got low scores, because people played Kid Icarus on the NES, and they played on the Game Boy, and they still think it's not that great. But people love Kid Icarus Uprising. So that's all I'm saying, is like, let's give it a chance. It's based off of what Sakurai has done. And once again, I think reviewers back then were looking at it in a completely different type of way. You compare what people actually said who played the game, compared to people who actually, you know, compared to the reviewers, it's a complete night and day difference. There's a almost 2-point difference between the Metacritic score and the user score. So let's see here. Sent. All right, I got you. Shout outs. We'll look at that in just a bit. Kirby Air Ride should bring back the soundtrack from the original Kirby Air Ride. It was so good. Hope to listen to it on YouTube. Imagine they do a remix for it. Yeah, that'd be pretty cool if they have remix tracks. So I played it. Nintendo Defense Force. Look at my handle. Okay, and that's fine.
Just
That's
because you
fine.
hate doesn't mean people don't like it. People still play it to this day.
Yeah.
Not every game is for everyone.
Yeah. Look, listen, guys. It's not about Nintendo Defense Force. People are allowed to have a difference of opinion. Nintendo, I'm pretty sure there are games that you think that are good that were also critically panned or that were not so good. Or do you only play games that review great Metacritic? So, I mean, listen, I've played it, and I'm not going to just sit here and say, oh yeah, it sucks because Metacritic 20 years ago says the game was bad. I've played it. I've talked to many other Kirby fans that have played it. They all think it's good. Most people think it's a good game. You go back and you look at what people say about Kirby Air Riders, they say it's a good game. Now, if you don't like it, that's fine. But using Metacritic from 20 years ago plus to say that the game is trash, even though people like it, has nothing to do with that, man. So I'm just telling you, I've played the game. I didn't even know about the Metacritic scores when I played the game because I didn't look at Metacritic 20 years ago. So I had no idea until recently about the Metacritic scores. So my opinion wasn't shaped by Metacritic or what other people think. I simply played the game and thought it was good, you know? That's it. Let's see here. Shout outs to Justin with another 3 though. Shout outs to 2 3s coming through. Let me get Mute City next. Mute City theme. So let's do that. Get another 3 added in here. Shout outs to my man Justin. Appreciate that. Justin loves, like I said, Justin was talking about how good it was. He didn't even know what the Metacritic was before then. I think a lot of people did not know what the Metacritic was for Kirby Air Riders. They just liked the game. Now, if you don't like it, once again, but I don't think using Metacritic from the GameCube 20 plus years ago, I mean, I'm not sure if that, considering the type of reviewers we had at that point and the GameCube itself, I mean, GameCube, people said, go back and look at the Super Smash Brothers review, Super Smash Brothers Melee. That has really good reviews, but go back and look at the reviews from some websites, man. They were acting insane back then.
It's my favorite game ever, so just let me have this one tonight. Lol JK, everyone can have their opinion.
Yeah, I agree. Well, no, Wind Waker was reviewed well back then, but people hated it when it was first announced. People hated Wind Waker because it wasn't the Twilight Princess type game. It didn't look like Ocarina of Time. So that's why people hate it. Now, when the game came out, it actually reviewed really well. It was one of the best reviewed games on the GameCube, and people liked it. Although it didn't sell as well as they would have liked it to sell, but that's kind of more important to the GameCube not selling that great, you know? So I think that's more important to the GameCube just not doing well, because a lot of games on GameCube didn't sell like incredible numbers. I mean, GameCube doesn't have any games that sold over 10 million units. You know, it doesn't have any games that sold over 9 million units. Like, the highest selling game is Smash Melee, like at 8 million units. So, I mean, the GameCube just didn't have a ton of super high selling games. Very similar to the Wii U. The Wii U didn't have a single game that sold more than 9 million units. You know, Mario Kart 8 was the only game that sold 8 million units plus, you know? So yeah. Let's see here. I hated it when it was revealed. I'll admit it. Yeah, I mean, that's okay. You mean, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, the Space World. Yeah, the Space World situation. GameCube got so much hate back in the day. It was crazy. GameCube got insane hate. People just, a lot of times, if it wasn't Mario or Zelda, people just would rate stuff down just because in the GameCube era. It was just, and listen, this is a true story. Paper Mario, the 1,000-Year Door on the GameCube, got a lower score because I think it was GameSpot. Now, Nate the Hate knows the full story, but I kid you not, I swear Nate told this story. You guys can ask Nate the Hate. Ask him on Twitter. Paper Mario, the 1,000-Year Door on the GameCube got a lower score, I think from GameSpot or from some publication, because they didn't think it would sell well because the GameCube wasn't selling well. And I freaking kid you not. It got a lower score because the GameCube was doing trash and they thought the game wouldn't sell well. So they factored that into their review score. And I'm dead serious. Now, unless Nate was lying about that, or unless, which I don't think he was because he told that story on the Spawncast, but that's the type of stuff that went on during the GameCube era. Like, those are the type of things that happened in the GameCube era. I'm just letting you guys know. I'm dead serious about that. Like, like I said, unless Nate was not telling the truth, but I'll ask Nate again. I will ask Nate again to give us the story. You know, like I'll ask him on Twitter, or I'll ask him to DM me the story about what happened with Paper Mario, you know? So yeah. Or look at Mario Kart Double Dash. Does anybody think Mario Kart Double Dash is an 8 out of 10? I mean, some of you guys might think it's an 8 out of 10, but does anybody actually think that's like a real 8 out of 10 game? You know? Let's just be real. Like let's like Mario Kart Double. It's a 87. It's a 87. Does anybody actually think it's not a 9 out of 10 game? I think most people would actually say, yeah, Mario Kart Double Dash is probably a 9 out of 10 game. Like minimum a 9 out of 10 game. There's nothing else like it. It was leagues above other kart races. Like not even close. There wasn't a single kart racer that even came to the amount of features, content, complexity, strategy as Mario Kart Double Dash. Like it's a little bit better in today's day, but nobody actually really thinks Mario Kart Double Dash is a 8.7 out of 10. We all think it's like, most of us think it's a 9 out of 10. I would say most think it's that. Now the user score is the exact same, 8.7, but I'm telling you, man, Mario Kart Double Dash is at least a minimum of 10 out of 10, you know? But once again, reviewers in that time period, man, like, they'll give stuff 7.9, right? The infamous 7. They'll give stuff 7 out of 10. They'll give stuff 8. Oh, it's not that great. Dude, it blows Mario 64 out of the water. Like, it blows that game out of the water. Like, it destroys it. The Mario Kart 64 is like the same review rating, dude. Like, what? You know? Mario Kart. There's not that many reviews for Mario Kart 64. Okay, Mario Kart 64. My bad. Not the same. I'm stupid. 83. So it's a few points better than that. But then the DS version, oh no, there is no DS version. Sorry, my bad. Yeah, 83, but there's not that many reviews. And there's only 15 reviews overall. But we all think that it blows that game out of the water. Mario Kart Double Dash blows Mario 64 out of the water. Mario Kart 64 out of the water. And it's rated 3 points higher. What? 3? Yeah, it's rated 3 points higher than it. So, or no, sorry, 4 points higher. I can't count. Just rated 4 points higher. It really should be rated like a whole point higher than that game. You know, like it's much better than that game. So that's all I'm saying. Like that's all I'm saying. Like the GameCube era was a really weird era for Nintendo reviews and stuff like that. You know. So I never played the original Air Ride, but knowing the passion of Sakurai, I'm super excited to see what he's been cooking. And I think it's a September game. Okay, yeah. Let me get some more music here too. Let's see. Shout out to Justin. Justin is going on here. Also, we got the hour-long extension. Let's go. Excuse me. Flame Clock cooked. Let's go. Shout outs, man. Shout outs to Justin as well. Let me get some extra. I think we got here 1, 2, 3, 4. I think we got about 33 here, Justin. Justin again. Never mind. 36.
Lost Odyssey has a 78 already taking reviews that seriously.
Okay.
Lol.
Yeah. Okay. That is true. I totally forgot about Lost Odyssey. So for those who don't know, there is an RPG that's literally one of the greatest RPGs of all time, and it's got a 78, and that is completely bullish. Now, Mario Kart Double Dash came out in what, 2003? Lost Odyssey was 2008, so they're about 5 years apart, and that is insane. GameSpy gave it a 5 out of 10. Like, listen, Lost Odyssey is not a 7 out of 10. It's not a 7.8 out of 10. It's like a 9.5 to 10 out of 10. It's more like a 10 out of 10 or a 9.5 out of 10. Minimum 9 out of 10. Like, that's how good that RPG is. It is freaking incredible, okay? It is absolutely incredible. If this game was remastered and put, like, remastered, faster loading, put on Nintendo Switch 2, you know, and all that, upgraded, the game would be easy a 9 out of 10 game, or at least a mid to high 80s. Easy. But back in 2008, 7.8, you know? So yeah. Lost Odyssey reviews is why I haven't played it yet. You should not base whether you play Lost Odyssey based off of those reviews for the game. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. No. I like Double Dash, but it was an 8.5 for me. There was just something that didn't grab me, but it was well made. Then again, my favorite Mario Kart is Mario Kart Wii, and everyone says that's the worst one. Everyone doesn't say Mario Kart Wii is the worst one. People actually really like Mario Kart Wii. The problem with Mario Kart Wii is that the online was busted. But I actually like Mario Kart Wii probably in some sense a little bit more than in like some sense I like it a little bit more than others I don't. Mario Kart Wii has online play, which is good. The online play was broken and busted and people cheated too much, but it did have online play. Mario Kart Double Dash has some really cool strategy, really cool, you know, obviously 2 people karts and stuff like that. So there's good and bad with both of them. I kind of like go back and forth between what's my favorite Mario Kart, but I think like Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, obviously, I think kind of beats out both of those in some ways, but then other ways, like those other games are better. So like every Mario Kart game is kind of different, like how you evaluate it, you know? So yeah. Lost Odyssey having a 78, and shout outs to the 69, very nice on the combo board. Appreciate you guys. Let's go. But either way, 8.5 is still higher than the score that it has on there of an 84, right? Let's see here. I was hoping Double Dash mechanic got into World. Yeah, I don't think they were ever gonna bring back the Double Dash mechanic. You know, I don't think they're ever gonna do that again. At least not anytime soon. I think that's Double Dash is Double Dash, and they're just gonna leave it at that, you know. Let's see here. Sup, OJ. Also, you have to add the 100 from the last dono. Oh my gosh, yes. Yo, shout outs to oh my gosh, Vatson. Good to see you here. Thank you. Out of nowhere, I thought it was a mistake. I thought you did $10, and I wanted to confirm because I didn't see it come in. So where did you send it to? Did you send it to PayPal or did you send it to Streamlabs, like directly? Where did you send it to? Because once again, like I thought it was a mistake because I didn't know why you would send that much when I wasn't even live. So I was like, okay, this must be a mistake, or it was just $10. So I wanted to confirm before you I added any of that in. Streamlabs account. Oh, okay, got you. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate that. Big love. We're gonna play it right now. Yeah, he did send it when I wasn't live. So once again, I didn't know if it was a glitch because sometimes Streamlabs be tweaking. You know, sometimes the Streamlabs be swerving, bending around the corner. You know what I'm saying? Like, they be tweaking. So I thought it was a tweak. I was like, that's it, sending $100 when I'm not even live? Okay, no mistake. All right, let's play it. Let's go. Yo, the Infinite! Ah, Tsukiyomi. Shout out to my man, Vatcent. Let's go.
Sorry, partner, I feel asleep. However, I see this Streamlabs works. Anyways, here is a supreme dono. Next time you stream music request Soul Blazer Dr. Leo's Laboratory.
Let's go.
Disney Magical Tetris Challenge Minnie Mouse's stage.
Shout outs to the homie Vatcent.
Have a great weekend, peace and love, OJ.
Shout outs to the homie Vatcent, man. Make it now that I know that it's confirmed. Like I said, I thought they were tweaking. I thought you said a 10. Yo, I appreciate you, fam. Gotta hold back. You guys are out here tonight, man. I appreciate you guys for real. Big love to Vatcent, man. That helps out so much. You guys help keep this Elite Ninja Village rolling, my boy. Rolling. I appreciate you guys. Like I said, we're going to do more streaming. We're going to do more content. As you guys can see, I'm actually putting way more time into editing videos. You guys are getting multiple videos. So I promise you, I am working as hard as I can work to get you guys content for the support that you guys give on this stream. Seriously, I am working as hard as I can. I'm going to keep on. I'm not trying to pat myself on the back. I'm just telling you guys, like, you know, like, yo, this is like what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? Like, to try to reciprocate the amount of support that I get on this. So I hope you guys have been enjoying the multiple videos. Hope you guys have been enjoying the streams, and I'm gonna do my best to get you guys more involved and get you guys more stuff. I'm thinking of some new shows, of a reaction show that I want to do with you guys, where Elite Ninjas can put gaming clips, short gaming clips, like a minute or less, and I'll react to them and we can laugh. So I'm thinking about having shows like that. Like, I'm thinking of doing like a variety of different things. So yeah, we're gonna keep that going. Shout out to Sandy. Thank you for the subscription. Appreciate that. Let me get some music for you, Vatcent, as well. Let's see here. You want Disney Magical Tetris Challenge Minnie Mouse stage. All right. Disney Magical Tetris. Disney Magical Tetris. Tetris Minnie Mouse theme. All right. Let's see here. Connor, did I see your message? No. What's your message, Connor? Tell me again. Let me know about it again. Justin with another 3.
I can take my lunch anytime, so tomorrow I will be watching at home. I mean, it would be weird if I wasn't here for this.
Yeah.
Lol.
It would be really weird, Justin. So you gotta take your lunch anytime, brother. You gotta take your lunch anytime. I've been playing Donkey Kong Bonanza. Although I said I was gonna play yesterday because I had the day off. I did not have the day off. I had to clean the house and get ready for family coming over at night, and I edited a video in the morning as well that took me 4 hours to edit. So I didn't have time to play Donkey Kong Bonanza. I'm not gonna have time to play Donkey Kong Bonanza tonight. I'm not gonna have time to play Donkey Kong Bonanza tomorrow. I think the next closest day that I can do it Wednesday. I'll have probably Wednesday off. We'll see what gets announced though. But yeah, like I've been so busy editing videos, guys. Like it's been crazy. You know, your boy, inflation's kicking your boy in the butt right now, but I'm trying. I'm doing my best. Let's see here. Mario Kart World is a masterpiece part, man. Let's see here. Shout outs to Vadset. You are now the Hokage stream ninja. Like I said, it's gonna be tough. Anybody does 100 or more, you can be my man Vadset or tie him up. But I appreciate anything, guys. Make sure you get your music requests in. If you drop a dono, get your music request in as well. Shout outs to Justin. Thank you for another 3. Also, Huddy with the 51 months says a 78 for Lost Odyssey is insane. That generation's opinion on JRPGs was truly Dark Ages. Can I get the some Lost Odyssey music? Yes, you can get Lost Odyssey music next. Lost Odyssey battle theme. Yeah, that was the anti JRPG era. The PS3 and 360 era, PS3, 360, and Wii 7th generation is when Western game reviewers and Western players just said, screw JRPGs. They suck. They're not good. They're slow. They're dumb. You guys are poopy faces. Like, they're just acting insane once again. And I think there's a video that we can maybe react to. I think I've reacted to it before, but it's called I Hate Final Fantasy from IGN. And it's literally just some dude ranting about how Final Fantasy sucks, you know? Like, and people thought it was funny, and people thought it was great back then. That was the funny thing about it. People just, I mean, yeah, the people trolled them and got angry, but that's the type of sentiment that people had, you know, with JRPGs and with Japanese developers back then. Japanese developers also had a pretty rough transition to the HD era too, so there's also that. Let's see here. What about reviews of Mario Party 4, 5, 6, and 7? Yeah, I'm not looking up all those, Connor. So if you want to look those up and let me know, let me know. I'm not looking up all that. Let's see here. I can see your comments, Mr. Davis. What's good, man? Welcome. Let's see here. Should have given him. Yeah, well, that's like your opinion, man. I thought it was funny. I remember watching that video when it came out on IGN. I thought it was funny. At that time, I mean, I was playing Final Fantasy, but I wasn't like, oh my god, Final Fantasy, like, you know, because Final Fantasy had been off Nintendo for a hot minute. I was playing them on PlayStation, and I thought they were okay, but I wasn't like, oh my god, Final Fantasy is still like my favorite. I like the PS1 Final Fantasies. I like the, you know, but Final Fantasy, this was made, I think, after Final Fantasy 12, which I didn't love Final Fantasy 12 at the time that I played it. It's grew on me since then, but I didn't love it at the time that it came out. So I was like, oh, whatever, you know. But they were saying the same thing. It was like with Fire Emblem. It was like with Golden Sun. It was like with lots of games. You know, like they were basically roasting a lot of JRPGs, you know. Also, what's it called? X-Play? Even in the 6th generation, they were roasting JRPGs. Like, X-Play would roast Japanese games all the time, you know. So yeah. All right, let's get this Lost Odyssey music, too. Let's go. Shout-outs. Was Lost Odyssey ever re-released? Yes and no. So they re-released it digitally for the Xbox storefront, and it looks and plays a lot better on the Xbox One and the Xbox Series. Like, it'll load faster, it'll play better, it looks a bit sharper, but it's never actually truly been re-released, like a remaster or like a remake. But it looks pretty good. Like, if you download it on, like, if you buy it on your Xbox Series X, it looks awesome. Like, it looks really good, and it loads fast, and it's no longer a 4-disc game, which that game was insane. It was 4 Xbox 360 DVD discs, and you had to swap them, you know, every time. It was kind of crazy. One of the biggest games. And yeah, but if you buy it on Xbox One or Xbox Series, you don't have to do that. Or if you have the physical copy, it'll just install the rest of the discs. You don't actually have to swap them if you have a physical copy. You can just install the first disc, and then it'll install the rest of the game for you through software emulation. So yeah. Yeah, insert disc 2, insert disc 3, insert disc 4. That's basically what happened, you know? But a lot of 360 games were like that, though. Like, a lot of JRPGs had, like, 2 discs or 3 discs. Like, Star Ocean, I think, had 3. Star Ocean 4, that had, like, I think, 3 discs. So it wasn't like, it wasn't common, but there were a few games that had multiple, like, JRPGs that had, like, multiple discs on Xbox 360. Well, Legend of Dragoon, yeah, like, PS1 games were notorious for having, like, there is a lot of PS1 games that had multiple discs. Like, Final Fantasy games were multiple disc games. Like, a lot of them were, you know, so, like, yeah, I think Xenogears was too, right? Was it? I don't remember. But yeah, like, PS1 games, oh yeah, there was a lot of multi-disc games on PS1. It was still cheaper than releasing your game on N64. That was the funny thing, like, you could make a multi-disc game and it's still cheaper to print those, like 3 of them or 2 of them, compared to printing one N64 cartridge. So yeah. Yeah, Xenogears was 2 discs. Yeah, there you go, 2 discs for Xenogears. Switch 2 sales bottomed out like everyone predicted. Based off of what, Jimmy J? Bottomed out based off of what? Where is it selling the worst? Go ahead, let me know. Where is it not selling well? Because I see bestseller on Target. I see bestseller on Amazon. I see bestseller on Best Buy when I check on my stock on that. So right now it's the best-selling system in Japan, Amazon, and it's the best-selling system in the US, Amazon. So how did it bottom out? Based off of what? Go ahead. And you gotta answer me, Jimmy J. You gotta answer me. So go ahead and tell me where it's bottomed out at. And tell me the number. Tell me the actual sales numbers too. Go ahead and give me that while you're at it. I'm not gonna let these weirdo Nintendine fans come over here and start talking shit to me. You guys are idiots, and you're idiots for watching him. You're an absolute idiot, by the way, for watching that guy and coming here and talking to somebody who's been covering sales for a decade plus. I'm not stupid, okay? I know you guys think that I am. Some of you guys think that I am, but I'm not dumb. I know what I'm talking about. If sales bottomed out or if they weren't good, I would tell you guys it's not doing well, okay? I wouldn't be saying that, oh my god, okay, it's like it's selling this or that. I'd be telling you guys the truth. I'm not dumb, and I'm not some type of crazy fanboy like some of you guys like to point out, like oh, you're just a drone. I'm not. No, I'm gonna tell the truth. So go ahead and give me the sales numbers, or give me the places where it's not selling well based off of Amazon, Best Buy, Target, Walmart, or anywhere where you can track stock or sales. Go ahead. I'll give you the floor. I'll actually give you money. If you want to come on right now and talk to me and tell me where you're getting your info, I'll pay you if you can convince me. Go ahead. Stop watching Nintendine. He's a moron. And he's grifting you for money. I'll pay you $50 right now if you got Discord and you can come tell me. And like I said, all civil. All civil. No hate, no animosity. No animosity, no hate. I'll pay you $50 right now. And I'll pay you another $50 to actually convince me with facts and sales numbers. Not Nintendine, but actual facts and sales numbers. Go ahead. Come on, Jimmy. Don't let me down here, Jimmy. Come on now. I'm trying to be nice to you, fam. Like I said, I'll pay you right now. Put your PayPal. Put your PayPal. Give me your Discord and put your PayPal, and we can do it right now. We can talk. We're talking about Kirby Air Riders. If you want to come to try to derail the stream, at least come with something better than that, okay, man? Come on now. Anyway, moving on. Thanks for coming out, though. I appreciate you, Jimmy. Let's call a spade a spade. During the early 2000s, many Japanese games got lower scores because at the time, Western AAA games were doing mostly better than Japanese games. That's creating arrogance. Yeah, I can see that for sure. Yeah, I can see that. I bought FF13 on Xbox. Runs perfect good, but it let's see here. Wish it was 60 though. FF13 on Xbox. It definitely doesn't run. I mean, if you play it on FF13, if you play FF13 on Xbox Series X, it runs at 60, if I'm not correct. It runs at, or even on Xbox One. I think on Xbox Series, it runs at 60 FPS. So if you get an Xbox Series, you can play that game at 60 FPS. So, you know, you can play the whole trilogy. 13, 2, and Lightning Returns all at 60 FPS. I think it brute forces it to 60. So you might want to look into that if you like those games. Let's see. Yeah, we love to complain about Nintendo seeing what happened in the game in the last few days. It could be way worse. Cough Minecraft, cough Roblox. I don't know what happened with Minecraft, but Roblox, I know what happened. I'm sorry, OJ, you watching Nintendo. Sorry, OJ. I'm sorry, OJ, been watching Nintendo just like I watched Blackbird back in the day, just to laugh at it. And like I said, I don't care who you guys watch, but don't bring their stupid stuff into my chat. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't bring their grifting into my chat. I don't mind. You guys can watch whoever you want. You know what I'm saying? but don't bring their nonsense and their lies to here. If Switch 2 isn't selling well, then we're all screwed, like I said, because Xbox Series sure as hell isn't selling well, and the Switch 2 is selling better than the Xbox Series. We know that for a fact. And the PS5 sold 2.5 million units the last 3 months. So nothing's really selling. So if that's the case, if Switch 2 isn't selling, it's bottoming out and all that, then the Japanese game industry is cooked, because Switch 2 is the only system that's selling. Everything else is selling. The Switch 1 sells what, 14,000, 10,000. The PS5 sells nothing. Xbox Series sells nothing. So the Japanese gaming industry is absolutely screwed if the Switch 2 sales bottomed out there. It's just screwed. Like, literally it's screwed. Because nobody else is selling there. And here in the US console sales, PS5 is not lighting things on fire. It has essentially no super high-end competition. It's destroying Xbox. Switch is a different type of thing. And it sold what, 80 million? Shipped 80 million? They sold 2.5 the last 3 months. So it's not like they're killing it like how the Switch was in the same time frame. So nothing's selling then, if that's the case. So unlike other people that you guys watch, Jimmy and all you guys, I'm not gonna lie by omission here. Shout outs to Juice Man Vaughn for turning me on that term. I'm not gonna lie by omission here. I'm gonna tell you guys the full scope of things. If something isn't doing as well, I'll be like, yo, it's not doing as well. But I'll also compare to other things that are in the market, because that's how you can gauge whether it's doing well or not, because you compare it to other things and what's happened. So if Switch 2 isn't doing well, then nothing is really doing that well right now, if that's the case. Because once again, PS5 sold 2.5 million in the last 3 months. Okay, that's okay. That's all right. But Switch 1 did way better than that in a lot of months. You know, 2.5 million isn't that great. It's okay. It's just okay. It's good, but not incredible. You know, Xbox Series is doing, I think it's actually selling worse than the Switch 1. The Switch 1 sold 1 million units in the last 3 months. You know, so I think Xbox Series might actually be doing worse than that. So what is selling then? Then nothing's selling at this point, you know? Anyway, like I said, I'm gonna give you guys the straight up facts. I'm gonna give you guys honest analysis and opinions. You can call me every single name in the book, fanboy, you call me a bootlicker, you can do all that. But like I said, nobody's been able to come here on my stream and prove that in a debate. We already went through this, guys. So stop coming to my streams, Jimmy, and these weird Nintendine fans. Nintendine already is scared of me. He does not want to talk to me about sales numbers. None of these guys that talk about sales want to talk about sales numbers with me, because they're liars. They don't actually analyze anything. They're just looking for YouTube views. They get all of their video topics from AI. How can I be negative today? How can I be angry today to get maximum amount of views? They just get AI topics and they just run with it, okay? Because it makes them money. And they don't care if they're wrong or they're right. They'll just move the goalposts later. And they'll never apologize for being wrong. So stop listening to these guys, okay? Stop listening to them. They don't know what they're talking about, okay? They don't know what they're talking about. Listen to me. I've been around for 10 plus years. If I'm wrong, I'll say I took a L, I'm wrong. Party Man's been here. He can tell you Justin's been here. He can tell you Huddy's been here. All the Elite Ninjas have been here. If I'm wrong, I will take my L on the chin. But I'm not wrong about this when it comes to the industry right now. If the Switch 2 is not doing well, we're in serious trouble, okay? Because we can't have one system only selling the PS5. And it's going to get way more expensive next gen, or it's going to be just as expensive. Okay, so people are acting super goofy and weird. Look up the charts, guys. Look up the charts, all right? Let's see here. Let's see, you were wrong on DK price. DK Bonanza price? Okay. So what? What now? You were agreeing with RGT that we are in a video game crash. LOL, next we'll be wearing Hulk Hogan. I don't think that we're in a video game crash. I just think that we're in a really sensitive time period. That's all. Switch 2 is still selling well, but I have noticed a lack of interest with casual gamers. I worry that it might hit a wall over the next 8 months. 1 year post-launch, we'll be telling a lack of interest with casual gamers. Well, I'm not really sure how to gauge that, like a lack of interest with casual gamers. Where do you find, like, are you just talking to people right next to you or whatever the case is? I've seen where casual gamers say, hey, I want to pick up one. So it's going to be one of those things to where once the next big 3D Mario comes out, once the next big Smash Brothers comes out, once the next big Animal Crossing comes out, those are the games that gets the casual gamers interested. It's not just, I'm interested. It's what's the software that gets you interested. So if they're not interested now, they'll be interested with the stuff that they're more interested in. So some of them are going to be more interested whenever, like I said, Mario Kart comes, or not Mario Kart, my bad. Whenever Animal Crossing comes out, or when Smash Brothers comes out. So when those games come out, they'll be more interested in buying it and buy it. Everybody's not gonna buy the system day one, and I think that's the problem with a lot of gamers. You guys don't understand. Anybody that's worrying about, I'm worried about the casual gamers right now. Why? Is the next 3D Mario out? No. Is the next Smash Brothers out? No. Is the next Animal Crossing out? No. Is the next Gen 10 Pokemon out? No. None of those games. Is the next Legend of Zelda out? No. None of those games are out. Those 5 massive system sellers that appeal to core and casual gamers. Now, if Nintendo already dropped all those games and now there's still no interest in the Switch 2, then sure, be worried. But right now, there's nothing to worry about. All of those big heavy hitters haven't even dropped yet, and it's selling as well as it's selling. So, to me, there's nothing to be worried about, you know? Fastest selling console with no Zelda or Mario yet. They coping, yeah. Switch 2 crushed the console wars. This is what Nintendo and this is what all these guys, all these doomsayers won't tell you. This is why they don't want to talk to me. Guys, I'm not stupid. I've been analyzing this for a long time. Like I said, they can call me every name in the book. That doesn't mean that I'm wrong. If anything, it means that I'm right. They don't want it. They don't want to see me one-on-one on these topics. I know Nintendo in and out. I know them pretty well. I don't get everything right with them, but I know them in and out. There's 2 things that I know really well. RPG games on all platforms, multi-plat. I can tell you about the majority of RPG games released in the last 30 years plus, definitely within the last 10 years. I can tell you about it, or I have reference of it, or I've played it, or I know about it. And I can tell you about Nintendo. Those are the 2 things that I'm really good at, that I've spent hours, I'm talking about thousands of hours, talking about, researching, and playing. Don't come here with the bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Like, not you, Derek Clay, not you, but these other people. Like I said, none of them want any smoke when it comes to that. We saw what happened last time that I talked to somebody on that. They got cooked. So, come on now, guys. Excuse my French, too, all right? Excuse my French. I just find it hilarious when people try to come here and try to test me on certain things. And I'm like, guys, I've been doing this for a long time. I don't care how many... If you don't respect me or you don't respect my channel, that's fine. You make fun of the sub count. That's cool. That doesn't downplay my knowledge. I've been around for a long time, you know? Been around for a hot minute, you know? I've been playing games for 40 years.
What's there to worry about with mega hits like Air Riders back from the Bomba bin?
I know, seriously. Shout outs. Dane Gonzalez with the $5 as well says, do I need to play the original game before playing Daemon X Machina? I would play the original game, but you don't have to. The story's kind of completely different. You don't have to, but I would read up on it, or I'd watch I'd watch something on the game just so you can kind of get caught up a little bit, you know? But yeah, you don't have to though, based off the developer interview. Let's see here. Shout outs to Zoo with the $10 dono, and says, what's there to worry about with the mega hits like Kirby Air Riders back from the bomb? Okay, I thought Justin did that. My bad. That was actually Zoo. Shout outs to Zoo. Thank you for the $10. Yeah, Kirby Air Riders, Metroid Prime 4, Splatoon Raiders, Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment, and Pokemon Legends ZA. I think that's a pretty good last half of the year, in my opinion, at least. Let's see here. Dean with the $1 dono. The thing about it, though, is that, like, in the holiday period, it's not going to be Age of Imprisonment and Kirby Air Riders and Metroid Prime 4 selling the system. The holiday period, it's going to be Pokemon Legends ZA, Donkey Kong Bonanza, and Mario Kart World selling the system. That's going to be the system sellers. It's going to be those 3 games, not all the other games. Those other games are for, like, the core fans that want to pick it up. But the big system sellers are going to be Pokemon Legends ZA, Mario Kart, and Donkey Kong Bonanza for this year, even at the end of the year. Justin with a $20 Udabudos.
I would never badmouth Air Riders like that. Lol.
I thought you were making a joke. Yeah, I thought you were making a joke, but with Zoo kind of pulled a fast one on us there. Yo, let's go. Also, Ding says, OJ, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for tuning me into those Joey F quote tweets. They were so good. A bit of topic, but earlier you said that the Switch is a different type of thing to PS, but you slated that in the past that they're in competition. What do you still believe that? There is some general competition amongst PlayStation, Nintendo, and Xbox for your time. So in that sense, yes, they're on the same sales charts. They're compared against each other. They get the same, there's same games. Nintendo wants you to buy their games on their system. So yes, they're in competition in that type of way. But when it comes to a hybrid versus a home console,
Legit though, lost
there's a
SP
difference.
respect for Dean when he passed on debating. Would have been a good discussion.
You lost a lot of respect for him when he passed on debating. I mean, Yeah, he passed on debating. Why would he debate and ruin his whole cash cow? I would ruin his whole channel. I was seeing if I can bait Dean into debating me, and I don't know what happened to my comment. I was on the Mario Matter podcast with M Swizzle, with Max. You know, big channel. He's got 1 million plus subs. He's a big Nintendo content creator, but he has a side channel where he does the Mario Matter podcast. And I saw Nintendine comment there, like, great show for you two. And I commented, I'm like, hey, Nintendine, like, yo, like, you should come on my show. We can talk Japanese sales. My comment got deleted. I don't know what happened to my comment. My comment's gone. I don't know. I don't think Max deleted my comment. I don't know if he, I don't know what he did, but the comment's gone. The comment's no longer there. So he's ducking. He does not want to see me in a discussion about the sales numbers. He doesn't, because once again, his channel, Zoo, and this is not a hate towards the person. This is clearly talking about his channel. His channel it's a fraudulent channel built off of moving goalposts and lies to grift the algorithm for money. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. That's what his channel's about. And he's seeing that he's having success, and that's fine. But if any of his fans want to come through, like the Jimmy guy, if any of his fans want to come through, Jimmy's back. If you guys want to come through, you guys can come and talk. I'm here. I don't dodge smoke like these other guys dodge smoke. I'm not a fraud. So feel free, Jimmy, if you've got the time and you've got the facts, feel free to come through. So feel free to come through. You're just doing a console war. Listen, you moron, I have a PlayStation 5. You're a freaking idiot. You're coming here and console warring for no reason. Here's my PS5 Pro. You absolute moron. Stop coming here to console war. Nobody's here to console war against you. PS5's a fine system. It's a great system. I have one. I can show you my PS5 base. I can show you my PS4 Pro, my PS4 regular, slim. I can show you my PS3, my PS2, and my PS1, my PS Vita, and my PSP. Stop coming here to console war, okay? Nobody cares about that. Give us facts. So here's what I'm going to tell you before I ban you out of this chat. You've got 1 minute to accept me discussion about the sales numbers or not. If not, I'm just going to time you out for 24, because I'm not here to console war with you about PlayStation and Nintendo, about what you think is better or the amazing games. That's stupid. It's irrelevant. Most of us, a lot of us here, I'd probably say 50 to 60% of people here in this chat have a PlayStation 5. If you have a PS5 in the chat, say, I have a PS5, or say PS5. And be honest, if you have a PS5, put it in the chat that you have a PS5. Go ahead, put it in the chat. You're coming here to be a moron, and there's no need. Lots of people here have PS5. It's a great system. Nobody's denying that. Look at how many people here have a PS5. No cap, because I've seen a lot of these people on. I got some of these people. I know they've talked about their PS5. Look at all these people, Jimmy. What are you coming here for? Stop being an idiot, okay? Stop being an idiot. We all got PS5s here, too. PS5, 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 PS5. I have 3 PS5s. PS5 Pro. He has an Xbox Series X. Do you have anything else to say? And I'm only giving you, if you want to continue, it's either going to be 1, you talk to me about the sales numbers, where you got them, or 2, you donate $10 to continue trolling. Those are your 2 options now, okay? We've answered all your questions. We've talked about how great the PS5 is. All bow down to the mighty PS5. It's the greatest system of all time. It's the best. It has 1 million games. It's 1 million times better than the Nintendo Switch 2. There you go. You got what you wanted, right? It's way better. What you play is way better than us. You're a way better gamer. You're smarter than us. You know everything. We're all stupid and you're smart. Okay, Jimmy? There. Are you good? Now go play your PS5, or go to your mommy, or go in your race car bed and get some rest tomorrow for opening night live, because I'm almost positive there's going to be a ton of PS5 games announced and barely any for Nintendo Switch 2, probably none, okay? So there's going to be a bunch of stuff for you to look forward to, so go get some rest so you can wake up tomorrow for opening night, okay? And enjoy the show, okay? Enjoy my stream. All right, so go to your race car bed, have a nice night, and stop trolling us here, okay? You got what you wanted. PS5's 10 times better. We all have one. We all bow down to it. We all pray to it at night, okay? It's our deity, and there you go. So you good? Good. All right. You got your attention that you wanted. All right, man. I'm a people pleaser. I like to please the people. I like to entertain and I like to please the people. So you got everything that you wanted. Switch 2 sucks. It has no games and PS5's way better. Are you okay now? Are you good? Good. All right. Now we can finally move on from Jimmy. Okay? We can finally move on from this moron and he can go play his PS5. All right, moving on. Let's see here. Oh, by the way, I have a PS Portal. Yes, I have a play. You don't believe me? I'm going to show you, Jimmy, one last time. Hold up. Here you go. Here's my PS Portal. It's kind of dusty because I never use it at this point because I just use my Switch 2. And I use my Switch 2 because I'm stupid. I probably should be using my PS Portal because PS Portal's way better. So I probably should be using that because it's way better and Switch 2's dumb. So I don't know why I should be using this, but yeah. There you go. There's my PS Portal too.
Way, Jimmy.
Let's see here. Shout outs to Zoo with the 5 says robot is the way, Jimmy. So there you go. You got everything that you needed out of us, man. You got everything that you needed out of us. There you go. Big love. Thank you, Zoo with the 5. Oh my gosh. Let's see here. Saints Silvers with the $5 says Air Rider's coming out this early makes sense. They need Sakurai to focus on developing Smash 6, arguably most anticipated Smash 2 game. I think he's already working on it. Yes, I think he's already working on the game. I think Air Riders is probably already done at this point. Let's see here. Unlike Jimmy, I won't claim to have quantifiable data, just anecdotal and general observation. I think often exists inside a bubble. I think Switch 2 is less popular outside of that bubble. Yeah, once again, there's no data that says that. And people, when the Switch 1 launched, we had people just like you saying that it's not that popular and outside of casual gamers as well, Derek Clay. So I think we need to actually wait for the sales numbers. The sales numbers say that it's actually popular, you know. So, I mean, we can make up theoretical bubbles and maybes and all that, but I will say this, Derek, people said the exact same thing in 2017 when Switch 1 was selling good, and I had guys, Party Man can verify, I had guys coming in here telling me it's not that popular, it's not going to do that well, it's just the core gamers, there's not really anybody else, there's anecdotal evidence. I had people saying the same thing, you know, that you're saying right now, Derek Clay, so I'll just say that. I say we should probably wait, we should look at what we actually can see. We can look at what we can actually see. We can see Amazon, we can see Target, we can see Best Buy, we can see Amazon Japan, we can see those. And all of those have Switch 2 doing pretty decently. So we can actually see those. Those are public information. So if I were you, I would look at public information that is available for sales, because that stuff is available. You can actually even track track stock. You can look at your Best Buys or your Walmarts. You can see how many they have. Like, oh, they have 7 or 8, and then you can see if it changes. So are people regularly coming in and buying that or not? So you can also look at that too. Or you can track it by, you can do the old school way of doing it. Go to your store, see how many they have. Come back the next day. Is it changed? Is it still the same? Is there more? Is there, what's going on with the stock? So you can do it the old school way too. So there's what's the saying? There's many different ways to skin a duck or skin a chicken, or I don't know what that saying is, but there's many different ways to find out things about stuff, you know, overall, but before Nintendo tells us anything. So yeah. Let's see. Did I miss to talk about angry Metroid fans? Kinda. Skin a cat. Yeah, I don't know why you'd want to skin a cat. Duck or chicken. I don't know what that saying is, but there's many different ways to get it done. You know what I'm saying? Oh, to skin a cat. There you go. That's the saying. 91 Gamer Boy with the $5 donut says, I believe Switch 2 sales will skyrocket next year with all the games coming out this year and early next year. Nintendo has set themselves up nicely. I mean, skyrocketing sales is based off of, yes, software coming out, but then also, you know, them having the stock to keep up with that, you know? I never understood Sony lovers / Nintendo haters wanting to be around a bunch of Nintendo fans. Make no sense. It's because of insecurity. A lot of guys that like to come to streams to talk about their system, they're insecure. They're insecure IRL. And that I know that for a fact because I've ran into guys that are like that. They're insecure about their own personal things. Like, they don't like the attention that Nintendo gets. They don't like that Nintendo has more than what their company has. It feels like they made the wrong choice, or they're not of self-worth. And like, it's, even if it's kind of like psychological, people will tell you, no, that's not it, but that's actually what's it. They don't like the fact that Nintendo gets attention and gets a lot of attention. They don't like the fact that Nintendo's games that they don't like, that they personally don't feel are good, are getting more attention and selling more. Look at Astrobot, look at Donkey Kong. Astrobot sells damn near nothing compared to Donkey Kong's probably already outsold Astrobot at this point. I'm pretty sure Donkey Kong is close to it or very, further above it. Obviously, Mario outsells it and stuff like that. So I think that part of it is essentially them just being insecure about their own purchases and want to lash out at other people who enjoy something that they don't enjoy. Obviously, everybody's ran across other people that they don't like as well when it comes to them talking about their favorite piece of plastic. So animosity has also built over years from certain people talking and everyone pointing fingers back and forth at each other like, no, you suck, no, you suck, no, you suck, no, you suck. So there's also part of that childish type behavior, things like that. I own all the systems. I'll get called every name in the book, but I own every freaking system, and I like all the systems for the most part, But people will call me a million different names just because they have their insecurities about Nintendo or whatever the case, or because I correct them. There's some people that just hate being corrected when it comes to Nintendo stuff because they think that they know more than everybody else, but they don't. A lot of people are actually clueless about how Nintendo works or about how the video game industry is, but they don't want any, they don't want anybody to tell them that. They don't want to be corrected. They don't ever want to take any L. So that's, once again, an insecure thing. That's a pompous, a selfish type of thing, a ego type of thing. So you also have those people. Remember, any type of attitude that you see when it comes to outside of gaming, it also exists within gaming, right? Every single type of narcissistic attitude, bad temper, blah, blah, blah. All of that stuff exists with gamers as well. And that's going to translate to console wars. That's going to translate to crazy people. That's going to translate to people like Nintendine, making weird videos and stuff like that, because they can take advantage of really stupid, easily manipulated people. You know what I'm saying? Jimmy, I told you if you want to continue this console war talk, you're going to have to give me $10 or you're going to have to come through and talk to me one-on-one. So once again, I gave you 1 minute. I will be very nice and I will give you 30 seconds to do one or the other. You either say, okay, OJ, we'll discuss the sales numbers. Since you want to discuss console wars and sales, you're gonna have to do it live, okay? If you want to we're gonna have to hear your voice and everything. You can't just spam my chat all night, okay? Or you're gonna have to donate 10 if you want to continue console warring in here, okay? So there's your two options, and you have 30 seconds to answer one of those two. I'm not just gonna let you come in here and spam, okay? So answer those two. So give me those. People are allowed to have their opinions, but you're not here to actually put intelligent opinions. You're here to console war and complain and bitch. The first thing that you came in here, you didn't say, what's up, OJ? Or you didn't say anything like that. You said, the sales have bottomed out with zero evidence. You're not here to actually have opinions. You're here to do console wars. You're here to be a moron. And I'm not going to take that. That's the rules. You can't do that. If you want to come here and actually have intelligent discussion, you can do that. But the first thing you said here is that they bottomed out based off of nothing. You'll leave quietly. Good. Sayonara. You don't have facts. That's what I'm saying. Like, you're not here to talk about it and have an opinion. You're not here to do that. I appreciate the 5, homie, but you're not here. You're not actually here to do that. If you were, you would have accepted that, or you would have actually given me where you got your numbers from or what sales you're talking about. You're not. You don't have any. I looked through your whole chat. You never said anything at all. You know what I'm saying? Like, I looked through your channel activity. You never gave me anything. You asked, and you said that you asked Google AI.
Jimmy, get your bunnies in Discord, I'll moderate.
You said that you asked Google AI. You didn't actually look up. Google AI doesn't know anything. The sales numbers haven't been revealed. There's nothing that you can tell. Google AI cannot tell you if the sales have bottomed out or not. They don't know. There's nothing that they can do to tell you that. So come on now, man. You're using AI. But you didn't use AI. You saw Nintendine's video, then you came here. That's what you did. That's what you did. You didn't use AI. That's definitely a lie. That's definitely a lie. Let's see here. Let's see here. Thank you for the $5. So shout outs to my man Zoo. Shout outs to Jimmy. Thank you for the 5 as well. Appreciate that. AI is a large language model and is often wrong. Yeah, AI is often wrong. AI is often very wrong and does not know what they're talking about, or they guess. AI also guesses, but there's nothing that you can sit there and say it's bottomed out based off of what. Now, once again, maybe it has. I don't know. Nintendo needs to reveal the sales figures. 6 million units. We know that it sold 6 million right now. Over 6 million units. That's what we know. As of mid-July, around July, 6 million units. Okay. We'll see what happens going forward. Once again, we'll see. I don't know. I think it's going to have a pretty good rest of the year. I think it's going to sell pretty well with Pokemon Legends ZA, with Kirby, with, you know, Metroid, with all the games. And with, of course, with Mario Kart World and more people getting into it. I think it's going to do okay. But once again, maybe I'm wrong and you're right. But we'll see. But there's nothing right now that says that. So, once again, I'm all down for debate. But if you're going to debate, if you're going to discuss, you're going to console war, you got to bring facts. You can't just bring your opinion. You got to bring facts, okay? So yeah. Not today. Let's see, Edjo, what's your opinion on Joey Ferris and his outrage on Twitter regarding the Kirby Air Riders Direct? Also, what's your opinion on Nintendine and his content thinking he knows all? Nintendine's a liar and he's a fraud. He doesn't want to discuss sales. And Joey Ferris, I felt that it was pretty funny. I thought that his tweet was funny. So yeah. Let's see here. Justin with the $3 dono.
Okay, I'm 99% sure Air Riders is coming out in September. Nintendo leaked that Air Riders the Switch 2.1 music is coming to Nintendo Music.
Nintendo leaked it? Or they just said it? Which one? Let's see here. You can get conflicting answers depending on how you ask the questions. Yeah, that's another problem with AI. It's not real. So, because I'm not a fraud, I'll give you guys what I use to track sales numbers, okay? So, some of you guys already know this. But here's what I look at. I look at Nintendo's biggest markets. What are the biggest markets? Japan, the US for Nintendo, for the Nintendo Switch 2 so far. So what I do is that I look at best sellers, at bigger retailers. So I look at Amazon, for example. So when I go to Amazon and I go to what's the best selling devices, this is what I see. When I go to Amazon, this is what I see. I see that, oh, Amazon's a big retailer that sells a lot of stuff. And it's usually, if something's selling well on Amazon, it's usually selling well lots of places, you know?
Said it not leaked, my bad. Lol,
okay.
Can I get some Kirby music?
Oh yeah, I'll get Kirby music for you. Thank you for the $3 dono. This is what I see. Okay? So, I see that the Nintendo Switch is the #1 selling system. That's what I see. So why am I going to say, and you can click on it and you can see that, oh, they sold 20K or whatever. Usually, if something's doing well on Amazon when it comes to a video game, it's usually doing well lots of other places. Okay? So that's one of the things that I look at. Now, another thing that I look at, shout outs to the combo breaks there, is that if you go to their other best place, Amazon Japan, bestsellers. So we go to Amazon Japan bestsellers in video games. And what do you see? Once again, what do I see? I see bestsellers. I see the Nintendo Switch 2 in the top spot. That's what I see. I see Donkey Kong Bonanza in the top spot. If you went to the Amazon US, I see Donkey Kong Bonanza in the top spot. If you go to Amazon Europe or Amazon Italy or Amazon France or Amazon Germany, you see Switch 2, and you see Donkey Kong Bonanza, and you see, you know, pre-orders of Pokemon Legends. You see Nintendo stuff doing really well. So this obviously is tracking, it's our most popular products based on sales, updated hourly. It's updated hourly. So I'm looking at that. Okay, we've got that down. What else do we use? So you can go on Target. Target bestsellers. You can click on Nintendo Switch 2. You can see it right here. You look at their bestsellers. What's selling the system? What's doing well? You look at this, Nintendo Switch 2. It's one of their best sellers. This is updated every single month. They will update the sales numbers with what's selling the best. Switch 2 is a bestseller, along with Donkey Kong Bonanza is a bestseller. So that's 3 separate sources between Amazon Japan, between Target here in the US, which is, I want to say, a major retailer for video games, but not a bad retailer for video games. And Amazon in the US, and it's doing good. Now, what else do I look at when it comes down to this? You go to Famitsu.
Okay, Wario64 says last time they did this with Mario Paint, the game also released.
Okay.
But they aren't going to shadow drop it. But if they did, I'm not going back to work. Lol.
Okay, so that's something that we can talk about as well, right after I'm done with this. So you go to Famitsu, bestsellers, thank you to Justin for another $3 dono, let's go, combo breaks. You go to Famitsu bestsellers, you look at the sales numbers, Switch 2 is by far the best-selling system. It sold another 62,000 units, it's supply constrained in Japan, you can't just walk in and buy it, but it's supply constrained, but it's selling the best. What's the next best-selling system outside of Nintendo? The PlayStation 5 sold... The PS5 sold 7,000 units. The Nintendo Switch 2 sold 10 times, almost what, 10 times the amount? 9 times? 9 times the amount of the PS5. It sold 6 times the amount of, or sorry, my bad, not 6 times. It sold 5 times the amount, or 4 times the amount, yeah, about 4 times. 4 times plus the amount of the, 4 to 5 times the amount of the Nintendo Switch 1. It's by far the best-selling system. By far the best-selling system. Donkey Kong Bonanza is still up at the top of the charts. Mario Kart World still up at the top of the charts. I don't know what I don't know what you guys want me to do. I run things based off of facts. Now, I do have my opinions and my intuition, but my opinion is usually based off of facts. If I give you guys my analysis, it's based off of what I see, not based off my emotions or my feelings or how my heart feels one day or me making money off of YouTube. That is not how I base what I talk about. I base what I talk about the facts. I don't think Nintendo, and I don't think any of these guys that are telling me about sales numbers actually go over all of this. And when they do, they sit there and they make excuses. Why? Switch 2 didn't sell as much as the previous week. Dude, nothing's selling as much as Switch 2 the previous week. Switch 2 is beating out every other system by a country mile. So what? If the Switch 2 doesn't sell, what's going to sell? The PS5 isn't going to sell. So what's going to sell? The Switch 1? That's not selling that much anymore. The Japanese industry's screwed if the Switch 2 doesn't do well. Like, literally, it's screwed. So are you guys telling me that the Japanese industry is screwed, that there's going to be no consoles going to sell well in Japan? Don't be stupid, guys. Let's not be dumb here. Clearly, the Nintendo Switch 2 is going to be a successful system. Very clearly. I'm going based off of what I see. So, listen. All this stuff is publicly available, okay? It's not my intuition. It's not me making up stuff, okay? It's me showing you guys actual stuff, okay? Me showing you guys actual stuff, all right? And Jimmy, I need 10. I need 10 for you to continue console warring, not 5. I need 10. So I'm going based off of sales numbers, and I'm going based off of facts. That's what I'm going based off of, okay? That's what I'm going based off. I'm not going based off your emotions. You guys can keep your emotions wherever you want to keep your... Jimmy, keep your emotions somewhere else. Go to Nintendo's channel. Go to MBG. Those people go off of emotions. Or go to any other these other Sony fanboys or play Xbox or go there. But here it's going to be based off of facts, not how you feel for the day. Okay? It's going to be based off of facts. I'm going based off of facts, okay? Let's see here. When you get a chance, you missed Tyler's super chat. All right, I'm gonna get the super chats here. Tyler Foster with the 699 says, "Good night, Jimmy. Please go and hook up your PSVR 2 in your car bed, and play Gran Turismo 7. Vroom vroom." Yeah, there you go. Shout outs. General Zamora with the 2 says, "Crazy people want a company to be a monopoly." I know. Jimmy689 says, "No biggie, I'll leave." Okay, shout outs. We got that already. Zoo with the 5, Justin with the 3, Justin with another 3, Justin with the 3, and then it's Tony Rogers with the 49 says, "OJ with logic and facts, loving this. Mr. Spock would be proud." Shout outs. Spock, is that something like that's what's Star Wars or no Star Trek? I don't know how to do it. I didn't watch Star Trek. I didn't watch it, but shout outs. Let's go. Thank you for the $4.99, Tony. I appreciate that. Yeah, maybe I need to watch Star Trek. Maybe, or is it Trek, right? Not Trek. Star Trek. I think I need to watch it. I grew up with a Mormon family, not grew up with them, but I spent like a whole summer hanging out with the Mormon family, and the older brother, I was actually friends with the younger brother, Greg, but the older brother, he really loved Star Trek, like really loved it. Like, oh my God, loved it so much. And he would watch it, and I'd sit down and think, this is the most boring show I've ever watched in my life. But I would sit down and watch that with him all the time. And yeah, so, I mean, yes, I've seen it, but do I remember or know, or do I care about it? No. But have I seen it? Yes, I've seen episodes before, but I never liked it. And he used to play this like game. It was like a full FMV game that actually had like the, you know, like the, from like, look at the actual people. Like those FMV games, used to play that, like where you shoot people and like you fly and like you make decisions and stuff. I don't know. But yeah, let's see here. Jimmy been leaving for the last 10 minutes. Yeah, he's still here. He's still here. He's still here for some reason. I don't know why. He's still here for some reason. So let's say I think they'll sell 100 million, but not 160 million. I've never seen somebody tap dance and change their opinion so fast. They bottomed out. The sales bottomed out, but it's gonna sell 100 million. Shout outs to your boy with the $10 donut. Says, give him 10 or go watch Sony info. Sales have bottomed out, but don't worry, guys. They'll hit 100 million, but it won't get to 160. Yeah, how's Sony doing on getting back to 160 million? How are they doing? How's PS4, PS5, PS3? Any of those hit 100 million yet? Yeah, or 160 million. Any of those hit 160 million yet? 160 million. 160 million. Any of those hit 160 yet? I don't think so. Let's see here. Tupac was a Star Trek fan. He sampled from one of those movies. Listen to the song Pain. All right, I'll listen to it for sure. Shout outs to my man Ralphie. Thank you for that, man. I appreciate it. Nintendo Switch hate is just ridiculous. Let's see here. You were glazing 3.5 million in 3 days. Yeah, because that's the best selling system in 3 days ever. That's the fastest selling ever. Yes. Everybody was glazing that. Because that's the fastest selling system of all time, Jimmy. It's a new record. It's a new record. It's a new record, my man. That's why people were glazing that. Because it's a new record. 3.5 million in 3 days is the fastest selling system of all time. So, what is your point here? Like, I still don't understand what your point is here. Irrelevant though? Why is it irrelevant? When Sony did it, when Sony was the fastest selling system of all time, it was relevant. It was relevant. Because the previous record was the PS4, and that was relevant. People were like, oh wow, Sony has sold the most ever in terms of this time period. So it was relevant then, but it's no longer relevant now. Okay, got you. Relevant with Sony, but not relevant with Nintendo. Okay, got you. You're a parody account. I think you're a parody account. So I'm gonna treat you like a parody account. I'm gonna treat you like one. Let's see. I came into the stream apparently a mid argument. Shout out to Zoo with the $5 dono.
This is based on nothing. Bottomed out, but over 100 million. Wasting your time. Always available if you want a real Switch 2 skeptic perspective. But we talk enough, you know my arguments.
Yeah.
Macroecon and geopolitical outlook will reduce game industry.
Yeah. That sounds like you're risky dude now. I think he's just a weirdo that just likes, like I said, insecure little boy. I don't really think he's anybody of value or of note. No offense, Jimmy. I just don't think you're anybody that knows anything about the gaming industry. I just think that you probably sleep in your bed with your PlayStation. You probably don't have a girlfriend. Definitely don't have a girlfriend. And if you do, I mean, I mean, like, you probably won't have one for long. She probably won't be able to put up with you. So I mean, I'm gonna start treating you like a meme since you want to be a meme in here. So I'll start treating you like one. Let's see here. RDC World made a video of 3.5 million in 3 days. Wife and 3 kids. Jesus Christ. Wife and three kids. Oh my goodness. Woo, good luck to your wife. I'm a salute to her. You must be a handful to deal with. I mean, goodness gracious. You know, sometimes it can be the women that might be illogical in relationships. But now it's the man that's illogical in relationships. She's probably the one that tells you all the facts, while you're the one that says, nuh-uh, my feelings. This is what I feel. You're probably the woman in the relationship. That's the crazy part. She's probably the one with the facts and the logic, and you're the one that's the emotional wreck. No, I didn't mean with video games. I meant with other stuff, life stuff, like where you like stuff like actual life things, not video games. Jesus Christ. Justin with the 3.
Nintendo removed the Kirby Air Riders. Nintendo Music mentioned things are getting interesting.
The plot thickens. Nintendo removed the Kirby Air Riders music. Okay. If I have to guess, Nintendo is waiting for the right time, probably when there's some kind of major Switch sales plunge or another hardware controversy. Nintendo again for a debate. I will debate him on any type of thing, because I'll debate him on what he said before, not what he's saying, not when he moves the goalposts. I'll debate him on his Japanese info. That's what I want to debate on. That's what I actually want to debate on. And I want to debate him on the state of the industry as well. Other systems, Xbox, PlayStation. That's what I want to discuss. I want to discuss the full range and the full gambit of sales, from flipping the switch, like say macroeconomics level and everything like that. I want to debate the full range because he's a grifter. You know what I'm saying? So it's pretty easy to get these guys. But that's what I want to debate. You guys let him know. Civil debate, though. Civil debate. You know? I am down, but he doesn't want to. The reason why he doesn't want to is because he knows that he's wrong. So yeah, maybe he's waiting for that, but unlike him, I'm not a fraud. If the Switch 2 isn't doing as well, at one point I'll say, hey guys, look, it's not doing as well. But I'll give you guys every single scenario of what could happen, what could be happening. I won't keep on moving the goalposts like this guy. So I'm going to be truthful and factual with you guys. I'm not going to be sitting here making up stuff. So yeah. So I said Switch 2 sales slowed down. Didn't know it was a common knowledge. Didn't know it wasn't common knowledge. No, you said Switch 2 sales bottomed out. You said that they bottomed out, and that's not true. That's not true. You said they bottomed out. They have not bottomed out. It's the best-selling system in Japan. It's the best-selling system on Amazon in the US and also in Japan as well. It's the best-selling system on Target. It's the best-selling system on many different places. So how has it actually bottomed out? How's it bottomed out?
Okay, first off, good evening.
Sup, Cybertaurus?
Are people seriously upset about getting a Kirby Direct?
They are. Cause 600 what? I need you to give me facts and numbers that the sales numbers bottomed out. That's what I need. Like I said, I'm not gonna talk. Didn't I already tell you this? Why are we going over this again? Jimmy, give me the sales numbers and facts. Give me facts of how it bottomed out. You said bottomed out. So anyway, so just tell me that. Like I said, I'm just gonna time you out. I've been trying to be nice. You donated 5, so I gave you a little bit more time. But I need you to tell me how it bottomed out. That's what I need you to tell me. Cybertaurus, thank you for the $10 dono. Let's go. Shoutouts, let's go. Also knowing the fact that DS also almost doubled the PSP. People are upset about nothing. But yes, people are going crazy about the Kirby Direct. Because it's not Metroid Prime 4. Hold the line, Jimmy. Hold the line. Oh, my Wii U and Switch would neither cost me $500 to buy. I don't care what you love or not. That's irrelevant to me, okay? I don't care what you love. I want you to answer my question, and I need that to be the next thing that you answer. How did the sales bottom out when it's the #1 seller on Amazon in Japan, in the US, on Target, at Best Buy, and at Walmart? You can clearly see that the stock is going in and out regularly when it comes to those. I need you to answer that question. That's what I need you to answer. If you're wrong, just say, hey, OJ, my bad, I was wrong. That's it. That's all I need. So I need you to answer that question. I don't care what you love. It's irrelevant what you love or not. I don't care. You can love a damn Atari 2600. I don't care what you love. You can love your wife and your kids. Love them. Love whatever you want to love. That's irrelevant. I need you to answer my question. All right, let's see here. Joey First was pissed. Yes. I don't think the sales have bottomed out, but I do think Switch 2 initial sales rush might be creating skewed perspective of long-term success. High prices and economic conditions will be tricky. It sounds like you watched the, what's it called? Like you watched Did You Know Gaming video, because that's exactly what they said in their video. And then they changed the title from, the title originally was price hikes are going to cost Nintendo big. And then when they were clearly wrong that it wouldn't cost them big, like because they put that video right before the Switch 2 launched. When it clearly came out that it wasn't going to be that, they changed it to long-term, it could have problems. That sounds just like Digino Gaming and what they did. They went from, oh, it's going to be a problem before launch to, well, long-term, there could be issues. Listen, long-term, if they can keep the prices the same, obviously inflation goes up. So if Nintendo can somehow keep the prices the same, it's actually going to be seen as cheap, not expensive. So that's how inflation works. If you can keep the system at 450 to 500, inflation takes the prices up while this thing stays the same. So therefore, it's looked at better value. Now, you also got to compare it long-term to other systems on the market. What's PlayStation coming in at? By the way, Digino Gaming also did this in their video. What's PlayStation coming in at? What's Xbox coming in at? What are portable PCs coming in at? What are PCs coming in at? So look at it compared to everything else. So if 500 or 450 is very expensive, everybody else has to deal with that as well. So there's two scenarios that play out here. Either one, Nintendo does well and things are okay, or two, everybody's going to struggle because of prices. Or are you just bottling Nintendo into one category and everybody else can have high prices because the PS5 Pro is $700, the Xbox Series X is $500 to $700, and portable PCs are expensive as hell. PCs are expensive as hell. So is this a uniquely Nintendo thing or is this a whole industry thing? So it's going to be one of those two, Derek. So I see what you're saying, but a lot of times a lot of people online fall into this, it's only Nintendo. Microsoft and Sony can have prices. Hell, Microsoft can fail with the Xbox Series. PS5 can be selling nowhere near the amount of obviously the PS2, can be selling nowhere near amount of the Nintendo Switch 1, can be selling below the PlayStation 4 in terms of sales, but it's okay. They can price things whatever they want, and that'll be fine. There'll be no problem. Oh, but Nintendo, even if they're, I don't know, long term, who knows? I'm not sure. Like, so either everyone is going to be screwed with these prices because they're not going to be releasing systems under 400. The Xbox Series S right now is 400. 400, what is four? It's almost 400, right? So if Microsoft makes a more powerful system, it's not going to be under 400 or under 5. It's probably going to be $500 a minimum. So they're also going to have to deal with the same stuff that Nintendo deals with. So everybody's going to deal with what you're talking about, not just Nintendo. So that is a situation, that is a problem that everyone is going to deal with. But if you want to group Nintendo into one category and say, oh, their prices, you can do that. But I think you're going to end up just like people ended up when they said, oh, Nintendo's prices with the Nintendo Switch 1. Because yes, believe it or not, people said that with the Nintendo Switch 1. And I can bring the facts. I can bring the actual articles. People said the Nintendo Switch 1 was too expensive. They did. There are multiple articles. There are multiple things saying Switch 1 is too expensive. People said that. They said it's too expensive. So that's the reason why I'm hesitant on people to say, oh, with the economics, oh, with the prices, oh, with this, because it seems like it's only Nintendo. It's not PlayStation, even though the PS5 Pro is not selling very well. The base PS5 is selling way better. So the next PlayStation is going to be $500 or more. So that's going to affect them too, right? They're the market leader normally. They're the ones who sell the most typical consoles. So that type of thing is going to affect everyone. Then is everyone screwed? Or is it just, maybe Nintendo's just screwed? Which one is it? Because Microsoft is already, they're not selling very well. They're not selling very well. So they're already out of the picture, right? Are they out of the picture? Or are they still in the picture, Derek? I don't know. Are they still in the picture or are they out of the picture? Because it seems like Microsoft, are we gonna move Microsoft out of the picture? I'm going to play it to how you guys want to play it. Are we moving Microsoft out of the picture or are we putting Microsoft in the picture? Let me know. Because when people talk about this economics and all, it's like, well, Microsoft, you guys don't want to talk about that. So are we leaving Microsoft in the picture or out of the picture? Which one? You guys let me know. Economics guys, let me know. Are they in or out? And then we'll go from there. Okay? We'll go from there. Let's see here. You are now in the generation where you are actively punished for not buying early. Yes. Because inflation could hit. Tariffs could hit and prices could go up. I mean, there's also that. Let's see here. I didn't know Nintendo has a wife and 3 kids like the episode of Scooby-Doo. I think you're joking. You're thinking that's a joke that guy's Nintendo. Okay, yeah. Switch 2 sold 3.5 million consoles in 1 week, 3 days. Did PlayStation ever think that that kind of success? No, they struggled with scalpers, PS5. Nintendo filled the market with Switch 2s. There you go. Let's see here. No, I agree. Sony isn't going well either. Bad investments. I think the global economy is much stronger. 10 years ago, Xbox One. Okay, so then so Derek, everybody's screwed. Okay, cool, no problem. Okay, so everybody's screwed. PlayStation's screwed. Xbox is screwed. Nintendo's screwed. Okay, everybody's screwed. The whole market sucks. Everything's screwed. Nobody wants to buy systems. Like, okay, no problem. All right, well, let's enjoy our last days of the great console market. Okay, let's enjoy it because pretty much everybody's screwed going forward. Okay, as long as you analyze it and you apply your logic to everybody, I have no problem with that. Now, do I think that you're wrong? Yes, I think that you're wrong. I think that the Switch 2 is going to find a way to sell. I think that the next PlayStation is going to find a way to sell. People will put stuff on credit cards. People will acquire debt. I've seen people in the hood that don't have $100 in their bank account, but somehow bought a PlayStation 5. I mean, like, people will find ways to buy stuff. People always find ways to buy stuff. Apparently, nobody had jobs or nobody had money during COVID, yet spending increased. Bezos and Zuckerberg and everybody increased in wealth by $1 bazillion, and everybody who wasn't already wealthy went down. So we all lost money. And everybody else increased it. All the people that make stuff increased in wealth. So people found money somewhere, even when there was no money to be found. Okay? So I'm pretty sure that people will still buy things, even when if the economy gets worse. People are still going to buy things. People are still going to buy Switch 2s. People are going to still buy stuff that they want to buy. They'll sell their Switch 1s. They'll sell their Xboxes. They'll sell their PlayStations. They'll pick up an extra side gig. They'll do some extra little work on the side. They'll start a little YouTube channel and make a little bit off of that. They'll sell some old Jordans that they have. Guys, people are pretty resilient. And I think some of you guys underestimate how resilient people can be when they want something that they want, okay? Bro, I used to collect cans from across the whole city so I can buy Super Mario RPG, so I can buy Pokemon Stadium. I used to be out in 100-degree heat collecting cans. And I was broke. I was poor growing up, okay? I'll do whatever I can to get these video games and these systems. I used to flip dollars at school, gamble to get a GameCube, okay? To get the $200 that I needed or the $150 that I needed for a GameCube and Metroid Prime. I'll do whatever I need to do when it comes down to it. I think y'all don't realize how resilient people can be when they want something. So if Nintendo brings the games that people want, if Sony brings the games that people want, people will find a way through hell or high water to buy that system, even if the economy's trash. Like, it's always been that way. The economy's been bad many times in many different time periods. The mid to late 2000s was terrible. People bought consoles and systems more than ever. We had bad economies in the 70s, and 80s, and 90s, and 2000s. People bought systems like crazy. It always happens. So that's the reason why I'm not so much on the economic stuff, because even when I was broke, even when I had no money, even when I had nothing to my name, bro, I had literally zero. Somehow I found a way to have a GameCube. Somehow I found a way to have a freaking N64 and games and Pokemon Stadium. And I was broke, literally no net worth, zero, nada, nothing. People find a way, man. If you bring out the content that people want, they will find a way. They will sell what they have. They will pick up an extra gig, side gig. They will deliver. Man, I knew it, homie. This dude delivered pizzas to get a Wii. A Wii was what, $250? He was broke. What did he do? He picked up an extra job at night delivering pizzas for $10 an hour with a few tips here and there. He did it. He did it for about 2 months. Got the money, got the extra money for a Wii. Quit the job. This man picked up a gig of delivering pizzas just to get a Wii. Bought the Wii, bought Wii Sports, bought Twilight Princess, said, I'm good. Went back to being broke. Like, went right back to being broke the next day. You know what I'm saying? But he got his Wii. He got his Wii, you know? George FT with the $10. Shout outs, man. So let's see. He says inflation is always going to be a thing, even when the rate goes down. It's going to affect everyone, not just Nintendo. But the Great Recession showed us people still bought games. Yup, people still bought it. Switch 2 was beyond my reach price wise, but I did everything I could to get one day one because I wanted it. OJ spitting facts here. Thank you, Gerald. Once again, it's beyond his reach price wise, but what are you gonna do? You got a Switch, trade that baby in. You got something else, you got an Xbox you don't play anymore, trade that sucker in. That's what I did. I traded in old systems, traded in old games. Do what you gotta do. You know what I'm saying? People will find a way. People will find a way, and that's what people don't realize, man. Like, listen, we've been through economic situations before. Gaming is still around. It's still the biggest entertainment medium in the world. It's gaming. Gaming's the biggest in the world. It is. Plain and simple, cut and dry. Nothing else is bigger than gaming. It's the biggest. It's bigger than the movie industry, bigger than the music industry. It's bigger than all those combined, if I'm not correct. So people will find a way to buy these video games and to buy these systems. I'm telling you right now, and I'm going to tell you again, in 2 years from now, when Smash Brothers and 3D Mario is out in all these games and Switch 2 is at a really good sales-wise, don't sit here and didn't say I didn't tell you so, okay? Don't sit here and tell that, because it's going to be the same thing that I said with the Switch 1. The same exact thing that I said with Switch 1, and it happened. And the same thing's going to happen with Switch 2. When everyone was coming to my stream and telling me it's too expensive, economics, this and that, people can't afford it, this and this. And I was like, okay, that's fine. That's your opinion. Let's see what happens in a couple years. I had, what's it called? Tell me that. Who was it? No shots to him, though. What's his name? I'm sorry. I'm going to get the comments. I haven't been looking at the comments, guys. I'm sorry about that. What's his name? Rerez. Shout outs to Rerez. He's a better content creator than I am. He's actually a really good content. He's blown up in subs. The dude's doing great. But he was telling me all the same things people are saying now. It's not going to do well. Oh, this and this. It's too expensive. It's this and that. I said, bro, when the games come out, you'll see. It's got every single game from Nintendo. It's got every single game. There is no splitting the hardware with the other systems. It's got everything. It's going to get Animal Crossing. It's going to get Pokemon. It's going to get Mario. It's going to get Zelda. It's going to get everything Nintendo's got. Nintendo's never released a system where they throw everything at it and it fails. It's impossible. They've never had a system that's portable, a mainline portable, that's ever failed outright. A mainline portable. They've never had one. A mainline portable. Revisions and other stuff, sure. But a mainline portable, never in the history of Nintendo. I wouldn't bet against that. I just personally wouldn't bet against that. Just like I wouldn't bet against the Sony PlayStation home console flopping. I wouldn't bet against that either. Nintendo's never had a main system portable. Anything that's been portable, they've never had that ever flop in the history of Nintendo. Game Boy, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, DS, 3DS, and now Switch 1, now Switch 2. They've never had anything that's been considered portable from a main line ever flop. I wouldn't bank against it. I think that's a dumb bet, in my opinion. I wouldn't bank against it. But hey, if you guys think that it will, or you think economics are gonna, hey, go ahead, be my guest. But when I'm right later, don't say I told you so. I'm gonna say I told you so, and I'm gonna keep saying I told you so. Don't get upset when I say it over and over, because I know what I'm talking about. Let's see, Switch 2 is the best selling, and yes, there's plenty of stock in stores because Nintendo supplied ample stock. These guys are dumb or grifters. Entertain me because I am not dumb. Yeah, like I said, we'll wait till the sales numbers. We'll see. Once the sales numbers come out, we'll see how it's doing. I'm not saying that it's going to sell as much as the Switch 1. Just like I'm saying the PS5 doesn't need to sell as much as the Switch, as the PS2. The PS5 doesn't need to sell as much as the Switch 1. It doesn't need to. It can sell as much as the PS4 and probably be okay. That's fine. Sony's never had a system that's ever hit the heights of the PlayStation 2, and that's okay. They've been okay. Nintendo Switch 2 doesn't have to sell as much as Nintendo Switch 1. They don't have to. Could it? Sure. Probably won't, because most systems don't sell as much as the Switch 1. But that doesn't mean it can't be successful and do well, you know? Let's see, this year alone, we had just the Chinese animated movie do over $2 billion in the box office. Doesn't mean everything, but it shows that people still want to be entertained. Yep. I will take the L if I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. Well, I mean, yeah, like I said, I don't know what you're trying to... You're kind of just saying a bunch of things, though, Derek. I don't know what you've actually... you never really set on anything. You haven't given any actual prediction. You just said, I don't think it's doing well outside... I mean, you're just giving a general thing. So what is there to be wrong or right about? I mean, give a prediction. Give an actual set thing that you can say you were wrong about something or not. You're just saying, I think, maybe, I'm just seeing, like, you're just going off of online. I think you're just going off of online what like YouTubers are saying. I don't think you're actually going off of like actual sales numbers and facts. And I think you're just going off of just the feeling. Okay. So yeah. Says 75%. 75% of what? Of what the Switch won? That doesn't matter. Like, who knows how the Switch 2 is gonna do 7 years from now? And it's impossible to tell. But if it does less than Switch 1, that doesn't mean it's not a success. Just like the PS3, PS4, PS5, those have done nowhere near as good as the PS2. They were still, well, PS3 wasn't that successful, but PS4 and PS5 were still successful. You know?
Gotta head out, but I remember 1983, and it was nowhere near as turbulent as 2025 is showing to be.
Okay.
Would not be shocked if war and the credit crunch eviscerated the American middle class over the next few years. Agree, it does not have to sell as much.
Yeah, exactly. But like I said, we'll see. We'll see in the next couple years. We'll see what happens. We'll see what people do. But once again, I mean, it's not even about credit. Like, save up. You know what I'm saying? Like, trade in. Before in the past, if the economic situation was so bad to the point where you couldn't just buy it outright, you can get $100, $200 for your Switch OLED. So people will trade in their systems. People will do whatever they can. They will, like I said, pick up extra side stuff. They'll recycle. They'll do what they need to do. So, like, I don't think we're going to get so bad to the point where the middle class is just eating out of, like, you know, top ramen all day. I don't think it's going to get that bad. Is there going to be more of a crunch? Sure, but people have always been able to afford entertainment mediums. Like, we've had bad economic times. Like, it's not, in my opinion, I've been around for a long time and I've seen a lot of bad economic times. The mid 2000s was terrible. The mid to late 2000s was really bad. The housing market, the everything, like, oh my God, it was terrible. Couldn't find jobs. It was really bad. Like, it was really, really, really bad. But people were buying more systems than ever. That was the era of the PS3, Xbox 360, and Wii. Economics were terrible in the mid to late 2000s. The PS3, 360, and Wii is the most successful generation in terms of console sales ever in the history of systems. The PS3 sold 90 million. The Xbox 360 sold 80 something million. The Wii sold 100 something million. The DS sold 150 million. The PSP sold 80 something million. That was the most successful that we've ever seen for multiple platforms all at the same time. They were all doing crazy good. You know, so yeah. Just with the $3 dono.
Online selling makes selling a lot easier nowadays also.
It really does. So you can unload a lot of that junk that you have in your garage. You can make ways. And once again, there's more ways in today's day to make money, even if you're not a content creator. There's more ways to do things that you weren't able to do before in the past. You know, online is huge, right? Online is a whole market in its own self. If you like, let's say, oh man, I can't afford the 500, I have about 300, you can probably sell stuff in your garage and get that extra 200 that you needed. Or you can sell your Switch 1 and get that extra money that you needed. So it's not like this is going to be unattainable for many people if they try. Now, once again, kids is a little bit of a different thing, but if they ask for their parents for holidays or for Christmas or whatever, parents will do what they need to do too to get that. In my opinion, but once again, I could be wrong. We'll see what happens, but I don't think I'm going to be wrong though. I don't think I am. So yeah. Says much of that was post recovery though. The systems were selling pretty good in 2007 and 2008, and it's pretty bad in 2007, 2008 overall for the economy. Like, it wasn't great, you know, in 2007, 2008. I remember. So I mean, and systems were selling great at that point. Like 360 finally caught on, PS3 caught on, Wii was selling incredible. So, and like PSP was selling great, DS was selling great. You know, I mean, systems sold like insane during that time period. Let's see, or you can sell your Steam Deck for $450 like I did. I sold my Steam Deck sold hella fast. So, I mean, that's how I funded my Switch 2 purchase with the Steam Deck. So I sold it. So now, in the past, I probably would have not sold my Steam Deck in the past if things weren't like kind of crazy. But I sold my Steam Deck because things are kind of crazy. Now, did I really need to sell my Steam Deck to get a Switch 2? Of course I didn't. Some people were saying, well, I think somebody said that in one of their videos about me. They're like, oh, well, you need to sell your Steam Deck to get a Switch 2, you brokey. I'll let people think I'm broke. I'm like, yeah, I did. I eat top ramen. I shop at Walmart. And I have the same shoes for the past 10 years. Listen, I'm not rich. Obviously, I'm not. I'm not that. I can afford video games. Sure, I can get the games that I want to get. But listen, man, you got to be smart about these things. You got to be smart about these things, fam. Let's see here. Take it easy, Zoo. Thanks for the support tonight, though, man. I appreciate you, fam. I appreciate you. I do. You saw your Steam Deck. Steam Deck did better than Switch 2. Steam Deck fanboys, probably. Hey, man. Listen. It is what it is. It is what it is. It is what it is. 1999, 2004 systems didn't do all that hot. PS2 was selling so much because it was a DVD player. 1999 to 2004 systems didn't do all that hot. How'd the Game Boy Advance do in that time period? How'd the Game Boy Advance do? I think the Game Boy Advance did pretty well. I think it sold 80 million, if I'm not correct. Let's see here. Sadly, I think my opinions got lumped in with Jimmy. I never said that it would fail. I just don't think it'll reach the same heights, and that's fine. It doesn't have to. Nobody said that it'll reach the same heights as the Switch 1. Nobody's saying that it's gonna sell, that it's guaranteed to sell as much as the Switch 1. Nobody's saying that, and once again, it doesn't need to sell that. Just like the PlayStation, I don't think. Nobody here, Derek, have you ever went to anybody else's stream and said, oh, I don't think the PS5 is going to reach the same heights as the PS2? I don't think you've ever said that in any capacity with the PS3, the PS4, and the PS5. I guarantee you've never said that. I guarantee you there's not a single stream that you've said that. I don't think it's going to reach the heights of the PS2. Nobody says that. We all know that it's not going to do that. It's fine, and it doesn't have to reach the heights of the PlayStation 2. Like, it doesn't have to. You know what I'm saying? It really doesn't have to. So, like I said, I've never went into a stream and said, oh man, the PS5 isn't going to reach the heights of the PS2. I never said that even when the PS3 was out. Like, I don't recall. If I did, maybe I did. But if I wasn't saying it like a negative thing, like, oh man, the PS3 isn't going to reach the heights of the PS2. Like, yeah, probably not, man. Most systems don't sell, 160 million. Most systems don't sell 150. Like, there's been 3 systems in the history of systems that have sold 150 million. 3. There's only 3. The Switch 1, the DS, and the PS2. The console industry has been around for, 40, 50 years? Something like that. There are 3 systems that have sold 150 million units or above. 3. That's it. That's it. That's it. There are most systems don't reach the heights of a Nintendo Switch 1, and that's okay. Most systems don't ever reach the heights of the PS2 or the DS. That's also fine. Nothing wrong with that. I'm not expecting PS3, PS4, or PS5 to reach the heights of the PS2. I'm not expecting Switch 2 to reach the heights. Is it possible? Sure. I made a video saying it's possible. But I'm not expecting it to do that. Not expecting it. Most systems don't. And it's okay. There's no point in even saying, oh, it's not. I mean, duh. Probably won't. Most systems don't, But I guarantee you've never went into any other stream and said, oh, the PS5 is not going to reach the heights of the PS2. Most people don't say that. Most people don't. And I didn't see it with the PS4. I didn't see it with the PS5. PS3, you probably saw some people saying it, but the problem with the PS3 was the PS2 wasn't done selling. So it was like PS2 kept going because they were bundling it with a bunch of games, and it was, and it sold for many, many, many years, even after the PS3 came out. So that's the difference with the PS2, At least PS5, PS5 at least on track or ahead of PS4. PS5 is slightly below the PS4. When you align them head to head, it's about 2 million units below the PlayStation 4. But that's probably going to change and wildly swing in PS5's favor when Grand Theft Auto 6 comes out. If you look at the PS4, it had better price. It had more focused first-party games. It had all of the Japanese games, It had a little bit less competition because the Wii U and the Xbox One were doing so terrible. PC gaming was growing, but not quite like it is now. So the PS4 had a lot going for it. The PS5 also has a lot going for it, but it is slightly below it. But I think that once GTA 6 comes out, it's going to wildly swing in the PS5's favor. OJ, you seen that Nintendo accidentally announced Kirby Air Rider's music will drop tomorrow? Nintendo Today app, Elmo, they deleted it. Yeah, what's it called? Justin let me know about that. So yeah, it looks like Kirby Air Riders, what's it called? Marketing is ramping up. Remember having a Game Boy Color? I'm pretty sure that didn't sell well, which was a shame because I really enjoyed it. Game Boy Color. Game Boy Color sold incredibly well for the time period that it was on the market. I think it sold around 40 million plus units, if I'm not correct. But Game Boy Color was not around for a very long time. So it actually did really well, Game Boy Color. I think what you're thinking about is the Game Boy Micro. That did poorly. That did very poorly. But the Game Boy Color did actually well. So let me give you the exact numbers. Game Boy Color sales. Game Boy Color. Let's see if I can actually track down how much it sold. Sales numbers. Yeah, just the Game Boy. Can we see how much the Game Boy Color itself actually sold? Yeah, it's hard to track down. I don't know. Okay, no. How much Game Boy Colors were sold? According to Nintendo's financial reports and trackers, Game Boy Color sold approximately 49 million. So it sold 49 million during its production run. That's what Spliced Online is saying. So let me double check this source. Let me double check. So yeah, they've got a breakdown here. Apparently Nintendo talked about it at some point. I don't recall that being a thing. But released in 1998, according to Nintendo's financial reports and industry trackers, the Game Boy Color sold approximately 49.01 million. So what did I say? Didn't I say 40 something million? So I was actually almost spot on if it's correct here. This includes sales from Japan, North America, Europe, and other regions. So the breakdown was 14.45 million in Japan, 14.35 million in North America, 10.21 million in Europe, and 9.90 million in other regions. So there you go. I don't see PS5 sales going up by any more than a few million above PS4. I think that with Grand Theft Auto 6, I think that the PS5 is going to sell a little bit of, it's going to sell a good amount above the PS5, in my opinion. You know. Let's chat. Let's be real. Chat. Pokemon ZA doesn't look good, at least to me. I think Pokemon ZA looks incredible when it comes to the combat of the game. But if you think the graphics aren't good, or if you think the game doesn't look good, that's fine to you. But I think the action RPG combat looks great, in my opinion. Once again, but that's just my opinion. But hey, look, it is what it is. If you don't think it looks good, you don't gotta buy it. Buy something else and enjoy. Buy Power World. I always tell people, if you don't think Pokemon Legends looks good, buy Power World. The graphics in that game are great. So just buy Power World and be happy, you know? Let's see here. Don't forget my message. I didn't realize that you talked about the Kirby stuff. Okay, yeah, let me look at your message. Give me a second. For the record, I'm a Nintendo fanboy, but I'm also pessimist. LOL, 100 million, 125 million would still be a success. I just think we're witnessing an overall downward trend in gaming sales, and that's fine. The Switch 1 isn't it's not a, oh my god, it's going to be here and it's going to keep going up from here. Switch 1 is an anomaly more so than anything with sales. Once again, there's only been 3 systems in the history of systems to ever sell that much. So you're basing your take off of the Switch 1. You're not basing your take off of what a system should sell. Your opinion and your take is based off of Switch 1 sold a lot, so it's going to be a trend downward. Most systems don't sell what Switch 1 sells. So that's why I'm not downplaying your take, Derek, and I get what you're saying, but you're basing it off of an anomaly. Nintendo never sells 160 million or 150 million. Most systems don't sell that. So you're basing it off of 3 times in the history of systems that's ever reached that amount, and you're saying, oh, it's gonna go down. I mean, yeah, probably. just like the PS3, the PS4, and the PS5 never hit the PS2 numbers. You see what I'm saying? So you're not basing it off of the consistent what we usually get. You're basing it off of the Nintendo Switch 1. Nintendo's never sold 160 million or 150 million units. They never sold that. Don't base it off of that. I would base it off of what they usually sell with the portable systems. Take the averages of the Game Boy, the GBA, the 3DS, the DS, the Switch 1, mix those all together and come up with the number. About 100 million. That's what I would say. That's a more logical take. I don't think that means, oh, everything's going down because you didn't hit the heights of a system. That's an anomaly in terms of sales. That's only ever in the history in the 0.0 percentile of video game sales. That doesn't make any sense. That's all I'm trying to say. That doesn't make any sense to base it off of the Switch 1. Just like we don't base things off of the PS2. Does anybody base it off the PS2? No, of course not. Because that's an anomaly. Most systems don't sell what the PS2 sells. That's never been the video game industry. Actually, up until 2000, the only system that's ever sold 100 million units was the PS1. The only system in the history of systems to sell that was the PS1. Home consoles. Then we got the Game Boy. Then we got some other systems. But you basing it off of the Switch 1 is, there's no point in doing that. And that's why the reason why I'm pushing back a little bit is because you're basing it off of Switch 1. No system sells as much as Switch 1. If the Switch 1 never sold 150 million units, would you still be saying what you're saying right now? Or would you be going lower? Or would you just say, oh, it's probably going to sell about the same? You see what I'm saying? So that's all I'm talking about. You know, that's all I'm talking about. But I see what you're saying for sure. I see what you're saying. Let's see here. All right. Oh man, you guys, I ain't reading all this, Casual Noob. You guys went back and forth. You guys went back and forth too much. That's too much. I ain't reading all that. I'm gonna see it. I'm gonna look at it though. So yeah. Y'all went back and forth way too much. That Xbox handheld is for a certain group of Xbox fans. There you go. Switch 2 will need another pandemic. Please know to get Switch 1 numbers. Like I said, I'm not comparing it to Switch 1, guys. I don't think it's gonna hit Switch 1, and it doesn't have to. I don't know why people keep on bringing up like that's some type of target. Switch 1 was cheaper, has a lot cheaper models overall when it comes down to it, and it's not Switch 1. So just like I didn't do the same thing with the PS3. I didn't do it with the PS4, so I don't know why people keep on saying Switch 1, Switch 1, Switch 1. That is an anomaly. Switch 1 is one of the 0 percentile, top 0.5 percentile of systems that ever released. It's not going to probably hit Switch 1 numbers, and it doesn't need to hit Switch 1 numbers. So I don't know why people come and say Switch 1. So what? Nintendo's never sold as much as the Switch 1 in their whole history. They've never sold as much as the Switch 1. Sony's never sold as much as the PS2. It's okay. They can still both sell a lot, you know, and do well. So that's all I'm trying to say. I just don't understand why people keep on bringing, oh, Switch 1. So what? Oh, well, PS2. Okay. Nobody's ever hit the PS2 numbers ever again. Like, that's gonna be hard to do. So it is what it is. Let's see here. Because Switch 2 doesn't surpass Switch 1 even by 1 million. It's still a flop apparently. I'll be honest. If the Switch 2 hits 100 million, I think a lot of people will actually eat crow and not bring up the Switch 1. I think a lot of people will actually eat crow and say, you know what? Hey, look, it did pretty good. You know, I think people will actually do that, even if it just hits like 100 million. But once again, if Nintendo can keep their prices the same, it's expensive right now, but if they can somehow keep their prices the same, it's gonna look so much better in the future, because these next systems that are coming out, the next Xbox, the next PlayStation, those systems are gonna be expensive. They're gonna be expensive. So if Nintendo can actually keep their prices where they are, which is gonna be really hard, and I don't know if they're gonna be able to, then I think they're actually gonna be set up to do pretty well. But I think Nintendo's going to do everything they can to not lower to not raise the price. They're going to increase the price of accessories. They're going to increase maybe the price of games every now and then. Like, they're going to charge 80. They're going to charge more for upgrade packs. They're going to probably charge more for NSO. They're going to do everything in their power to offset tariffs and to try to not raise the price of the Switch 2. Because if you look at the tariffs, they probably should have, like, they probably wanted to raise the price of the Switch 2 because they got hit with the 100% tariff when it comes to the, like, or doubling. It doubled their tariff. So it cost them double the amount of what it used to cost them to import the Nintendo Switch 2 to here. So they're paying double the amount than what they used to pay. It was 10%, now it's 20%. You know, in Japan, that got hit with the 15%, I think a 15% tariff. And then in Japan, and then China got hit with the 35% tariff. So all of that adds up. All of that adds up, right? So what did? They raised the price of like everything else. The Switch 1, they raised the price of Amiibo. They raised the price of controllers, right? Joy-Con. They raised the price of everything but the Switch 2, right? So even though they got hit with, like I said, a doubling of the tariff in Vietnam, got hit with the 35% tariff in China, got hit with the 15% tariff in Japan, it could go up. There could be more, man. Like, it could go up. It could go up again. It could go up again. So, let's see here. I don't think it's likely that Switch 2 will sell under 100 million. At least it'll hit that target for sure. Yeah, we'll see. Once again, we'll see. We will see. On Game Boy Color, I played a lot of Donkey Kong Country, and they even had a Buzz, I think you meant Lightyear? Star Command on that? Okay. Don't forget Alarm. Yes, the price of Alarmo went up. So like I said, guys, I'm not here to spit fanboy, whatever. I don't even like the term. You know what I'm saying? I don't even like the term. I'm not a fan of it. I'm just simply talking about what I see. I'm analyzing what I see. That's it.
Batting clean up while at work still.
Shout outs.
Flat Monday. How about some Kirby music?
Let's go. Kirby music. I got you, fam. Yeah, like I said, I'm not here to do that. I know like people will say that online about me. It's okay. I invite any of those people to come through and debate and talk with me. Big love to Cyber Taurus, Triple Plat, going further than beyond. But I'm just here to talk about what I see, what I analyze. I've been playing games for a long time. I showed you guys my PS5. I can show you guys my Xbox, my PlayStation. Listen, I was raised, don't buy something if you don't think it's good. I'm not going to sit here and buy stuff just to buy it. If I don't think PlayStation or Xbox were good, I'm not going to support it. I'm not a weirdo. You know what I'm saying? Like, my parents raised me well. I don't just waste stuff. You know what I'm saying? So, it's not even about Nintendo or liking this more. Bro, I buy whatever the hell I want. I've been buying Xbox, PlayStation, and Nintendo for a long time now, for decades. Since the early 2000s, I've been able to afford my own systems through hell or high water, even though I've been broke. I was broke all the way till... I've been broke my whole life. It wasn't until 2014 when I started to not being broke. But my whole life I've been broke. Okay, so it wasn't until 2014. It wasn't until about 4 years after I graduated from college. I struggled. After college, I struggled mightily. I had a lot of people saying that I'm a loser, that I'm stupid, that I'm dumb, I'm a waste, I'm this and that and whatever. And that's fine. No big deal. It just motivated me to do better. But it wasn't until 2014 to where I can actually afford everything. Now, however, was I able to buy multiple systems in the early 2000s? Yes, I was able to. I was working at McDonald's. I was making a little check. I was making like $3-4 an hour. So yeah, I'd save up my checks. I'd get a whole check for a month and I'd buy a system or something like that. I was able to buy, I'd use, I'd buy systems used or I'd buy games used. I used to, do coupons, GameStop coupons and like buy two, get one free. Like I did everything that I can to scrounge together. But I have been able to I've been working since the early 2000s, since the early 2000s I've been working. So I've been able to get stuff since then. There's been times where I bought a system or I bought a game. I had, $10 in my account. Okay, well, I got to wait for the next check. It is what it is, So that's just how it's been for me. It's not about fanboy stuff, man. I've been buying stuff for decades now.
This is for the triple limit break tonight.
Let's go.
So far doing the boring part of the work tonight, creating the menu work and stuff for the next game.
All right.
But hopefully you liked the city I sent you from the independent IP.
Dude, it was great.
Music requests F-Zero any music.
Kirby music. Let's go. Shout outs to my man, Cyber Taurus. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. We're getting you some Kirby music right now. Let's go. Thank you so much for the $14. Then also shout outs to Vadset. Thank you for the $10 as well, man. How come software didn't go up? Not that I'm complaining. How come software didn't go up? Well, software has went up. It hasn't went up with inflation, but it's went up. It was $50 in the PS2 generation. It was $60 in the PS3 generation. It's $70 in the PS5 generation, and now some people say Nintendo's $80 at times. But it did go up. And then developers also found ways to get more money. They did microtransactions, they did special editions, they did digital deluxe editions. If you look at what they do, there's never a time when a game launches and it's just $70. There'll always be some type of digital deluxe or higher edition. It's very rare for an Xbox or PlayStation game to not launch with some type of bigger special, especially digital deluxe edition. So they'll find ways, even if it's not a direct big price increase, they'll find other ways to increase it. You know, like look at Ghost of Tsushima. Oh, it's $70, no price increase. Yeah, you want the actual full game with all the content that they ripped out of it, you need to pay $80 for it, you know? Not to, it's not a requirement, but it's there, you know? Let's see, just wanted to say thank you for your story about getting sick during the first person games and let me buy Prime 1 and get motion sick. I'm gonna get Prime 4, but I wouldn't have known. Okay, there you go. Shout outs. I still take Nintendo overall. By saying Microsoft doesn't have good stuff is wild. I mean, yeah, like it is what it is. Yeah, I'm talking about tariff causing software to go up. Tariff causing, once again, they raise it in the prices that they felt that was good to raise it. Software is mostly sold digital, so tariff isn't going to affect that too much overall. It's going to affect physical products coming in. Most products sold are digital games. Most 50% plus for Nintendo, 80% plus for Sony, 90% plus for Microsoft. So the impact in tariffs in terms of shipping games in is fewer than it's ever been in the history of gaming. There are nowhere near as many games being shipped in. I think games are mostly produced in Mexico and China, if I'm not correct. So Sony and Microsoft and Nintendo have all decreased the amount of games that they ship into to retailers by a large amount. They do not ship anywhere near as much unless it's a big banger. Unless it's like a game that they know that's gonna sell a ton of copies. They're not shipping in a ton of copies of freaking Yoshi's Woolly World all day and stuff like that. That's why sometimes you see like shortages of like typical games. That's why you don't always see Xenoblade everywhere. You might not always see certain games because Nintendo isn't shipping a ton of games in because it costs too much. So they've reduced the amount that they ship and push digital. And they know people buy digital more than ever in today's day. So that's the reason why games they're not gonna, like, you know, it's not gonna get tariffed on that. Now, if this was 20 years ago or 30 years ago, yeah, games have went up. Like cartridge prices have always been insane, you know? They've always fluctuated and went all over the place based off of the world trade, based off of economics, based off of what can they produce, manufacturing. Go look at some of the crises that we've had with chips in the 90s. Nintendo's had to delay games sometimes because they weren't able to manufacture some enough in the Super Nintendo era and all that. So that's something that's happened before with world economics, you know, not just tariffs, but just world economics. Also, this BS releasing a game 3 days early if you buy it for $80 to $100, and yeah, that's a thing that happens all the time. But the reason why that's going to keep on going, look at Madden. Look at how well Madden did. Look at how well college football did. EA made a small fortune, like literally a small fortune, on releasing early access for college football last year. That was one of the biggest early access releases of all time. So they're going to keep on releasing early access. They're going to keep on finding ways. The price has not went up with inflation because $50 in 2005 or whatever is 80 something dollars now, but that's how much they want to get out of you. They want to get 80 out of you, you know? So yeah, just wait 3 days, bro. I know, I can wait 3 days. I don't think I've ever done an early access game. I don't think I've ever done that, like 3 days or anything. I've never done it, but other people can't wait. And once again, they don't care. You know, you live once. Some people, listen, man, I went to school with a lot of thuggish, ruggish bone. You know what I'm saying? Like the thuggish, ruggish, man, a lot of these dudes didn't know they were going to be alive. They were from New Orleans. They were from South Carolina. Man, a lot of them didn't know they were even going to be alive tomorrow. They'll buy whatever the hell they want. If they got negative bank account or if it bounces, they'll take care of it. Some of these people, they don't care. They'll take care of it later. They'll buy what they feel like. That's what I realize with consumers. They'll buy whatever they feel like. It don't matter what you say half the time. I mean, yes, we have influencers that can influence what you buy, and yes, that is a thing, and yes, it happens all the time, and yes, you know what I'm saying. I'm not trying to sit there and say that it's not, but like I'm telling you, a lot of these people, they do not care, man. Like a lot of these people, they don't even know if they're going to be around the next day or not. Or some of these people got sicknesses or illnesses, so they just want to get what they want to get. You know, like life's life, man. You live once, so do what makes you happy at the end of the day. Like if it ain't hurting nobody, I ain't got no problem with it. If you want to buy early access, buy early access. It's your money. Who am I to say that if you want 3 days, maybe you got to go on a big business trip in 3 or 4 days, and you won't have time to play it. Maybe the baby's being delivered in 3 days, so you want to just get the time in before. Maybe you've got a big project like school, and maybe you got time now, but you don't got time in a week. So early access works for those people. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody's got different scenarios. Everybody's got different situations. So whatever you want to do, that's going to be different from other people. You know, I don't judge nobody that does early access. If they want to do it, if they want to spend the 80 to 100 to do it, that's their money. That's not on me. Have fun have at it, fam. Why are we regulating how other people, you know, buy or what they want to buy? Like, it don't matter. Let them do early access, you know? So yeah. So yeah, that's kind of how I feel about it, at least. Let's get some F-Zero music, though. F-Zero music. It's basically pocket watching. You know, you guys know me, man. I'm not a pocket watching fan. I'm not a big fan of pocket watching. If people want to do early access, hey, they can do early access. It's all good. Let them do it. Like, I had no problem with that. I think I even reported on it, and I was like, oh yeah, man, early access is really doing well for them, and that's fine. EA is allowed to do early access. I mean, college football was a good game, though. Last year was a good game. I think this year was all right, but it's a good game. Justin with the 3.
I'm going to go to bed. I gotta get ready for tomorrow.
Yep.
I'm so hyped. Nobody can get me down right now. See ya tomorrow.
I'll see you tomorrow. Justin, thank you for the 3 once again. Big love. Combo breaks, man. I think Madden was a week on Switch 2. Yeah, I think Madden was like a week on Switch 2, but you know, early access is good and bad at times for the game player, because Madden on Switch 2 is better now than when it was at you know, when it early access. Like, if you bought it early access, like, there was a day one patch that smoothed things out a little bit more. So now it plays a little bit more stable, you know. So if you were playing the heck out of it early access and getting that hitching, then, you know, now it's better. So yeah. Let's see. Is it true that prices haven't gone up with inflation? I see some pushback on that one. Prices haven't gone up with inflation. Give me 1 second and I'll get that. Ben's 310.
Hello, OJ and
What's up?
everyone. Finished Little Nightmares series. Great games. Yes, I own a Switch 2, but still great games to play on Switch 1.
Absolutely.
Currently playing Nier Automata. Great game. Next in line for me, Demon X Machina for NS2.
Nice.
Can't
Let's
wait.
go.
Play another game.
Yes, sir. Let's go. Yeah, Demon X Machina is going to be great. It's coming out in a couple weeks. Shout outs to Ben's 310. Thank you for the $10 dono, man. JoJo boys, you guys are out here tonight. I'm sorry. I've been yapping and I haven't been looking at the chat as much. I'm sorry that there isn't as much user interaction, guys. I've just been yapping. I've been hyped up tonight because of the Metroid Prime situation, because of the Kirby Air Riders, because of Gamescom, because of Pokemon Legends ZA. I'm kind of like, just kind of amped right now, you know, of all the news, like gaming. Like, I love gaming. I love talking about games. I love having fun. I love just, like, you know, arguing or discussion, debating. All that stuff's like part of my DNA, man. Like, so for me, it's just fun. It's just a fun thing. It doesn't feel like a job at times, you know? But, yeah, let's talk about what Felipe had to say. Inflation means prices go up. I think you meant tariffs, Felipe. So is it true that prices haven't gone up with inflation? So generally speaking, inflation has surpassed the cost of the games right now. So let me give you an example, right? So if you go to an inflation calculator, let's talk about games from 2005, okay? They were $50 if I'm not correct, all right? $50 for the games. So give me just a second and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Now, I'm talking about the base price of games. Games are what? Let's just say $70, okay? So if 2005 games were $50, okay? In 2025, this year, that'd be $82.71. That is a 65.4% inflation calc. That's high, right? So that's what I'm talking about. So it's 20 years. $50 in 2005 is $82.71 in today's money. Most games, baseline games, and we're not talking about special editions back then. We're talking about the base game, right? Most games aren't $82.71. Most games are not base price that. So that's why inflation hasn't surpassed the cost of games. Now, if all games were $80, then yeah, inflation is right with it. But games, a lot of games are well below that. A lot of games. Indie games, Claire Obscure games, Mafia the Old Country games, you know, Welcome Tour games. It depends on the variety, right? So if we're talking about AAA games. AAA games were $50 in 2005. In 2025, that same purchasing price would be $82.71. So it quite hasn't caught it yet. hasn't quite caught it yet. Now, could it catch it next generation? Yes. You're absolutely... Could Sony charge $80? Yes. And by that point, will it have caught up to it? Maybe not. If the next generation, you know, launches in 2027 or 2028, inflation might go up even higher, and the purchasing price of a game in 2005 might be like $90-something, right? So it could change, you know, it could change. What is the price adjustment if you do it from the 90s? For how much? What's the dollar amount? The casual noob. So like the 90s game prices were all over the place. In the 90s, a game could cost $70 to $80. A game could cost $40. A game could cost $50. A game could cost $30. A game could cost... The 90s was a complete mess. N64 and Super Nintendo cartridges were expensive as hell. So sometimes you can see a game that was $80. Sometimes like Donkey Kong Country 2 was like $70 or something like that. So obviously, yeah, if you adjust it for inflation, the price is like $172. Like $150. I think Chrono Trigger would be like $150 or something like that. So yeah, if you adjust it for now, it'd be way higher for some games. But once again, there was variable pricing. The prices were all over the place with the N64 and the Super Nintendo. Like cartridge-based systems always had crazy price swings. There was never, oh, it's always just going to be this price. It was never standardized. It would always be, well, this is a 32 megabyte cart, or this is a 16 megabyte, or this is a this many. And based on how big the cart was, based on, is there an FX chip inside there or not? Like that would jump the price of the cart up or not. So it was very different in the, you know, in the 90s and cartridge-based systems. So yeah, I disagree on because you used to get the whole game back, Ed, now we buy it now. Listen, I don't know when you started buying games. Maybe you started buying games in the caveman era, because you're talking like a caveman in here. Me buy game, we roll wheel. Did you chisel it on like a stone slab? What type of games? How many berries and nuts and fruits did you buy? How much did it cost to get one chisel etch and sketch back in the caveman days? Damn, let me get your diet, bro. How are you still alive? That's what I want to know. This man coming from the caveman, how are you? Were you frozen? No, I'm joking. Let me try to answer your question. For real, not at this time. Back in the day, developers couldn't do DLC and stuff like that, right? You said you used to get the full game. How many hours of content did you get back then in games compared to how you get now? In games in today, you can get more hours of content, more stuff and all that than games back then, right? Like Super Mario World Yoshi's Island or something like that. Super Mario Yoshi's Island, that game has less content than a lot of games that you pay for now that you get more content. And if you adjust it for inflation. So you can buy a game now and get more content out of games back then, even before you buy DLC or anything like that. So DLC was just an extension to get more money out of people. But that doesn't mean that the games, you know, you got less content in the games. That doesn't mean that. So I see what you're saying. Like, I get that. But it doesn't mean like today's games have less content than games back then. All it means is that developers found out new ways to make games that have more content and then rip out some of that content to sell you that later, compared to games back then, you know? Or at least games back then, what they would do is that Super Street Fighter 2, Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo, Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo Championship Edition, Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo Hyper X275X Edition. They would just re-release the cartridge with different stuff on it, you know? So they would find ways to do it even back then. And just release a new cartridge, you know? I guess content isn't necessarily measured by length. I mean, in today's day, most games in today's day have more content than games in the past. I can confidently say that like Donkey Kong Bonanza has more content than like Donkey Kong Country, like on the Super Nintendo. Like in terms of it, like you can, that's pretty clear, you know, in today's day. And they almost cost the same price. Like they were actually, if you adjust it for inflation, it's not. So Donkey Kong Country, SNES price. So at launch, SNES price, $1994. When did that game come out? 94 or 1995? So, yeah, that game was, I think that game was, it's a $70 game back in 1994, if I'm not correct. Somebody correct me in the chat if I'm wrong. I'm seeing $70 for that game. $60 to $70 for that game back in 1994. So, virtual racing would be 231 now. Yeah, I'm typing on my tablet, but OJ, games were cheaper with that math. After you buy all the DLC, it's well over 86. Well, not if you adjust for inflation, no. Not if you adjust for inflation, no. Games were not cheaper back then. I mean, some games were, but some games weren't. It's like in today's day. Some games are cheaper than some games back then. You can buy Clear Obscure for $30, right? And that was cheaper than a lot of games back then. Like, you could get, like, day one for like 44. You can get that game like with the discount. You can get it for like $43 day one. That was cheaper than a lot of games back then. And Clear Obscure is a complete game with no DLC, everything all attached to it. So there's plenty of games that are cheaper than yesteryear's games where there's no DLC or where there's no extra. Like, they give you all the content there, and it's got plenty of content. You know, you're getting a full experience with Clear Obscure. You're getting a good 30-hour experience without getting 100%. Gamescom is tomorrow. See, why there's pushback against variable pricing. Why is there pushback against variable pricing? Because people don't like terms. Variable pricing's always been a thing. It's been around for a long time. It's been around for forever. I got Wu Chang Fallen Feathers for $30. Can't beat that price. That's what I'm saying. Like, a lot of games are actually not, you know, more expensive than games back then. Like, and you get a good amount of hours of experience. Once again, like Donkey Kong, I remember like that game can be beat in a few hours, right? So it's like, and that game was like $60-70 back when it came out. So yeah, it has replay value. You can get all the bananas and stuff like that, get all the coins and stuff like that. But I mean, today's day, you can get games that are fully featured and fully priced, even without DLC, for $50-60, you know? The secondhand market was more mainstream. Every town had shops and markets with pre-owned games. That's how I gamed as a kid. Okay, that's also true too. You know, in today's day, the secondhand market, I mean, we have online, so the secondhand market is viable. If anything, it's more viable and it's better in today's day than it was back then. But the problem is that, like, the secondhand, it can fluctuate. It's just like all over the place. But I mean, that's how it was back then too. But yeah. But I think overall, in general, like, it depends on when. Games could be way cheaper back then, or not. Secondhand, of course, compared to now. What time is the stream starting tomorrow? It's gonna be probably like 4:30 a.m. So I'm gonna be up super early. Super early. DK Bonanza will be the first DK I actually beat. Nice. Guess it's also good that the internet exists to buy games. You couldn't buy all the games you wanted back then. Yeah, you really couldn't. I mean, most of the time, if you wanted a game, though, like, if it came out here in America, you could find it at a used like store. Like, some store will have it, you know, in stock. Most of the time. You might have to go to a couple different stores, but that's what I used to ride my bike. I used to, like, if I couldn't find, like, for example, I could not find Skies of Arcadia anywhere. Like, back in, like, early 2000, like, I could not find the Skies of Arcadia Legends. That game in particular. I could not find that game anywhere. I don't know where it was, dude. I could not find it. And this was like, eBay wasn't quite a thing yet. And it was like weird, so I didn't trust that. I still paid cash for everything back then. Dude, I could not find Skies of Arcadia. And I finally found it at a Game Crazy store, like 15, 20 miles away from my house, you know?
Anyway, to
Cybertooth
see
with
how
$5.
much Donkey Kong cost on the ColecoVision back in the 80s. That was, according to my parents, the first game I ever played. Bet it was spendy for that time period.
Oh yeah. Ninja Peach, let's go. Oh yeah, games were expensive even back then. The cartridges, like NES cartridges, were expensive back then. My dad never bought us games new because they were too expensive at launch. He always bought us games like used in like yard sale games. Like sometimes they don't even work, or they'd be like, gotta blow into the cartridge, even though they didn't help, but we thought that it helped, you know? So yeah. I might watch Gamescom the next day. You won't watch it like the stream the day of. Okay. Did y'all rent games back then? Yes. Yes. Renting games was like the premier way to play games back then was renting. I rented games all the time, but Microsoft, Sony, everybody, the gaming industry hated it. Every single publisher hated it. They went through hell and high water to try to stop used games. Like, they really tried. Like, they did everything possible. It didn't work, but they tried, man. Nintendo made whole systems, made whole alternate systems to try to stop used games. Sony sued in Japan. Like, they tried, but it never worked. I think Nintendo even did some stuff here in America too, like with Blockbuster or something like that. But yeah, renting games was like the premier way to play different types of games because most people couldn't afford all the games that you wanted to play. So I used to rent from a place called Video City. I used to rent from a place called Game Crazy. I used to rent from a place called, you guys all know GameStop. I used to rent from, oh no, not GameStop. I used to rent from, it's called Player One. That's where I got my name from, Player One. I used to rent from just a variety of places. Just try to rent as much as you can. But my dad, you know, weekends, probably like 1 or 2 weekends out of every month. Not every weekend, but one weekend, maybe every 2 months or every 1 month. I don't remember, and I wish I did. I wish my dad actually recorded us more and stuff like that when it comes to it, because I don't really have much. I just have a few. I have pictures, though, when I was little. But I remember my dad buying pizza and renting, like, he said, hey, look, we can go to Little Caesars, grab a pizza, and there's a video rental store right next to the Little Caesars. So we'd go put in the order for the pizza, or we'd call them on the phone, put in the order for the pizza. We buy 4 pizzas because there was 4 kids, 2 adults. So he'd put in the order for the pizza, and then he would take us there. He would drive us to there, and we'd pick up the pizza, and then he'd drive us there, and he said, hey, you guys got 5 minutes to pick out a game. So me and my brother, we would rush in to pick out a game. Like, okay, what do we want? What do we want? What do we want? Well, the girls, because like I have 2 sisters. I have 1 brother and 2 sisters. They didn't care. They're just ready to eat the pizza. They didn't care about the video games. Whatever we got, they'd be fine with it. And then my brother and me, we would rush in there. We got 5 minutes to pick something before my dad leaves. And he doesn't care if we have something picked out, we don't get a game. So we'd have to rush, pick a game, you know, and that's what we did. That's what we did, like, you know, every single month for like years in the late 80s, early 90s. I know I did that for many, many, many years. And then once we got older, my dad said, screw it, we're not buying you guys anything. So my brother was old enough, he'd scrounge up some money, or my mom would scrounge up some money, and she would just say, hey, here's some money. If she can take us, she would take us, but my mom was always working. So my brother and me, we would walk to different places. Like, if one place didn't have a game that we want, you said, screw it, we'll walk to a different place. So we would just walk to different places and get a game that we want to get. So that's how we did it back then. And we had all the time in the world back then. It was a weekend. It might take us 5 hours to walk from one place to another place to another place, but we did it. We hung out, we walked, we enjoyed our time, we talked to each other about what game we could get, and that's how we rented games, like in the N64 and the Super Nintendo N64 era. You know, that's how we rented games then. So yeah. Yeah, my video store was right next to a Domino's. Yeah. So it was pretty cool, you know. Come home to a game with Little Caesars pizza. Little Caesars back then was really good. They used to cut their pizzas in squares. There was no regular pizza slices, but you're thinking of modern Little Caesars? Little Caesars back then used better ingredients, better quality workers, better everything back then with Little Caesars. It was legitimately goated pizza, honestly. You're just thinking of the hot and ready, the cheap ingredients, the cheap stuff that they use now. Back then, it was good. The pizza was delicious. The pepperoni pizza was so good. So good. I remember the taste. I remember the taste of Little Caesars, and the taste of the cheese, and the taste of like the meatballs that my dad would get 4 pizzas, 2 pepperoni, and he'd get 2 like meatball combination for like my mom and for like my sister. She liked it, you know, and I just would eat the pepperoni. But sometimes I would eat the combination, but I didn't like all the the vegetables and stuff on there, you know, so I wouldn't really eat it a lot. But even if I had it, it was good, man. It was actually legitimately good. It tasted super quality. Like the cheese, all that tasted good. The base of the pizza was like, the crust was like soft, but not too soft, and it wasn't too hard. It was a nice texture. The crust was nice and like baked and like thick. It was good, dude. I'm telling you, it was freaking good. It was really good, and like everybody thought it was good. Like everybody thought. You can go, even like I said, go on the internet. Try to find old forums of people talking about what's the best pizza. I guarantee you Little Caesars will get brought up a lot of like kids. Like, what was the best pizza back then? a lot of old people like myself, people in their 30s, 40s, 50s, they'll tell you Little Caesars was great back in the 80s and 90s. Like, it was really good. They'll all tell you that. Yeah, it sucks now, but back then it was good, you know? Taste of the 90s, what a time. Oh, yeah. Taste of the 90s, what a time. It was a good time, man. Back then, they used better quality. It was back, I'm telling you, and I don't want to be like that old timer back in my day, but yes, back in my day, the quality was better. The pizza was better. The sandwiches were better. Subway was better. Everything was better. In today's day, cutting, like, the chicken was better. KFC was better. Everything was better. Now, are there some places that have as good as quality as back then? Yeah, sure. There's some places that do. But a lot of places don't, because the profits have jumped up. They got to use cheaper quality to bump up their profits. They got to use less. You know what I'm saying? So Taco Bell was way better back in the day. Taco Bell was significantly better. The ground beef was better. Everything, you know? Let's see here. Bigfoot pizza, yeah. I don't get the point of a food chain pizza. It's just the same as industrialized everything. Someone dial up the chat room. Dude, go back. You'll see what I'm talking about. I remember renting Lost Vikings for the SNES from the local video store and only got so far before I had to give it back. Yeah. Everyone grew up with the Gigglebees. The place was straight fire. Spent many B-days there. I never knew I don't know what a Gigglebees is. That sounds weird though. Gigglebees, no. I had a Chuck E. Cheese. Cyber Toast with a $10 dono. Jojo. Let's
Back
go.
in your day was back in my day.
Yeah.
If that makes you feel any better, tears of joy.
Hey, look, man, the millennial/boomer generation, to me, it was the most goated, it was the most dangerous, undangerous, goated generation to live in. Like, if you survived the 80s, 90s, 70s, 80s, and 90s, especially 80s and 90s, if you survive that and are still around, bro, you lived through some incredible time periods. It's a great time period to live. Most people that are like that, that grew up in that time period, are pretty resilient for a reason. Because back then, you had to defend yourself, man. You better learn how to fight. You better learn how to kick and punch. You better learn how to, you know what I'm saying? Like, you better learn how to take care of yourself. You better learn how to ride a bike. You better learn how to, you know, rollerblade. You learn how to do a lot of things. Today's day, kids, man, I don't know, bro. I got kids, and I just look at some of the stuff that I see. I'm just like, I just shake my head. Like, what's going on with this, you know? I know I sound old, but I'm telling you, it was a different time period, bro. It really was. Be back before dark. This is terrible. I'd never... Listen, there are some bad things that I would never replicate, that obviously never need to come back. Be back before dark. That needs to be... That's been abolished. And needs to be abolished. That's something that I will never allow my boy to do. I'll never allow my daughter to do that. Be back before dark. Be back if the, you know, before the street lights come out. Never allow that. But once again, if you made it through, it was a good time period. Built different. You know? People crazy, bro. Like I said, it's like good and bad, right, Huddy? Because, Huddy, do you have, I don't know if you have kids, right? If you have kids, you don't want them to do that. You want them to have some of the experience, but you don't want them to have the full experience. You don't want them to have you want them to have some of, you want to like simulate it. Like, yeah, be back before dark, but you want to like secretly like follow them around. You want to see how they move without knowing that they got a little bit of autonomy, that they can do what they want. But like, you don't want the full experience, because the full experience wasn't good. Everything wasn't good. Everything wasn't great. It was dangerous. But we didn't know because we didn't have the internet like that. We just heard what we heard on, we saw the milk carton. We saw the newspaper. Have you seen this kid? I'm like, hell no, I ain't seen that kid. And it would happen all the time. There'd be a new kid missing every single day, every single week. So people say, oh yeah, it was safer. No, it wasn't, bro. There was a new kid missing every freaking day. Milk carton, newspaper, a new kid. People were getting snatched from the streets, man. It was bad. It was not good. It's safer now because of security cameras, because parents are more cognizant of what's happening, because of just a variety of different things. And I like that, but I'm never going to say, okay, I don't want to replicate that. I just want to replicate some of the toughness. You know what I'm saying? Like some of the certain things, like some of the stuff that like, stop whining and crying for everything. Stuff like that, you know?
I learned to run as a kid. I had a copy of NBA Jam on me, and 3 other kids on bikes knew I had it and tried to take it from me. I ran like no tomorrow. That game wasn't mine and had to protect it.
Yeah, listen, getting jacked for your game, I've seen it happen, bro. I've seen it happen. I saw a dude roll up with the baseball bat, swinging it like Road Rash. Straight up like Road Rash on the Genesis.
Y'all, when the aliens land, we're all hoes now. Gen X is too old to defend you. We're just going to Red Dawn up in the hills. Good luck, tears of joy.
Shoutouts. Bro, Simon, bro, I saw a dude. This man had a copy of, what was it? Oh, man, I forgot what game was. A kid, little snot-nosed kid was like, yeah, holding it like this. Bro, I saw a bunch of teenagers. They said straight up rolling like this. Road Rash with the bat. I was like, bro, run! I pointed. Little dude looking like the dude from looking like the dude from Secret of Mana. The little dwarf from Secret of Mana. You guys, who's the little dude from Secret of Mana? Second Densetsu 2 on the Super Nintendo. Secret of looking like that little dude from Secret of Mana with this overpriced or with this overgrown what's the Oh my gosh, he was straight up looking like that dude from I need to get a visual for you guys. This dude right here, man. This looking like this dude from Secret of Mana back in the day. This little dude's little snot-nosed kid. He was like, no! They're coming with baseball bats. Like Road Rash, fam. They were trying to. I said, I don't know why he's holding that game like he was like, like, bro. I think he got away though. I saw him swerve bend around the corner. That was the first time I ever seen a kid swerve bend around the corner. Decades before Alonzo Ball did it. We were doing it back then on the bikes. We were doing it back then running from people. We've been swerving, bending around corners for a long time back in the day. That's how you run away from people. You gotta bend them corners. You gotta hit them corners when they don't expect it, you know? Oh, man. Yeah, we still out here, Gambit. Let's see here. Almost stabbed for some candy. Yeah, man, like, crazy. They robbed my Game Boy. Yeah. I got jacked in college, and that wasn't even old school. That was like, you know, but that was, man, they broke in through the window and stuff like that. So it sucked, bro. It sucked. We've all been there, man. Well, not all of us, but a lot of us have been there. So yeah. Let's see here. Back in the day, it felt like you had to fight your way out of situations when you didn't want to. Yeah. Yeah. You gotta fight. Yeah, you had to fight your way out of stuff. Once again, I told you guys the story of like Terminator, right? Remember when T-1000? That's one of the most scared I've ever been in my life. That dude was gonna kill me. I legitimately thought that he was gonna break my arm and kill me. Like literally break my face. So yeah, man. I mean, like that T-1000 situation. Man, this call you gotta do. And the funny thing about that is like, it wasn't funny back then, but it's funny now. But it's like stuff that like I talked about at school when I talked about like, yeah, I'm still here. Yeah. Like, it's a scary situation. For those who don't know, long story short, I kept on pushing this guy that kept on like cussing at my friends after school or cussing at my friends. It was a big old tall white dude. Jared, he got held back like twice. So dude was like 14 years old in 6th grade. Dude was legitimately like a teenager, could almost drive in 6th because he got held back, you know, a couple times. He was already old for his age, like age group, and then he got held back like once or twice. So he was like 13, 14. So he just kept on cussing and just being a douche. So I got mad that he was doing that to my friends. So I thought I was Ike. I thought I was the Black Ike from Fire Emblem. I fight for my friends. I'm stupid. Should have just let him cuss at us. Who cares? Just go home. Because they didn't do anything to him. So I'm over here. I fight for my friends. You know? Me being an idiot. So I'm like... I remember Pogs. I used to collect Pogs myself back in the day. Early 90s. Early mid 90s. Shout out to Pogs. Thank you, Sonic Slim, for the 2 euros. So I started pushing him and running. And after school, pushing him and running. And I was in 4th grade. He was in 6th grade. And I started pushing him and running after school. And like, he lived on one side of town and I lived on the other. So whenever I ran, the crosswalk dude, like it was a black guy. He looked like the black dude from Hey Arnold. The mailman. I hate the snow. I hate the snow. Man, oh man, do I hate the snow. He looked like that black guy. Go look him up. He looked just like him. And I was trying, and every time I would run, and he'd be saying, okay, kids, you can cross. So, and I'd always time it up to where every time when I was running, it would time up. Jared would chase me, but I would cross the street with the black guy saying, cross the street, kids. And I just run. And Jared would never cross there because that's my territory. He wouldn't go there because I already knew all the I would swerve, bend around the corners. You know, I knew all the territory. See, he didn't know. But one time, I pushed him when I shouldn't have, and I didn't time it up. I usually used to look and time it up, but I didn't time it up right. So I pushed the hell out of him in the back, and I'm running, and he was running after me, but the crosswalk guy was like, no, man, you can't cross. You're gonna get ran over, kid. What are you doing? And I was like, no. So I had to freaking Kirby Air Ride drift. I put my hand down and kind of turned, like I said, swerve, bend around the corner. I said, and hit around the corner, around to the school. And when I look back, Jared also bent around, and you could just see the smile, bro. You can see the smile. He's like, I got you, you little, every single racist term that you can think of, he was probably saying it, you know? So I was just like, ah! I was like, ah! And I was 4 foot. I was like 4 foot nothing in 4th grade. Like, I was really short. This dude was like 6 foot. He was huge. He was like 5'11", 6 foot. And I'm not exaggerating. He's like a foot taller than me. Okay? I was like 4 foot. I was like 4 foot. What was I was like 4'8" or 4'9". I was like a little dude. You know? So I'm just like, I'm just chopping my feet and I'm running. Sort of, I can't go too far into his neighborhood because he knows that's his territory. So I turn back into the school. So essentially we're playing a cat and mouse where I'm walking over here, he's walking over there and marrying me. I'm walking back, he's walking back. Anytime that I try to jump over the fence, he'll get close to me to where I won't be able to make it because it was a tall fence, so people don't jump over it. And I had like those little at the very ends of like the fence, like those little tops, so it was like spiky. So I don't know if I'd be able to get over it without cutting myself or without him goring me at some point, right? Like grabbing me and like goring me on the top. So I'm like, bro, like I gotta get out of here. So eventually hours go by. I guess I'm telling the story again. And I'm like, bro, I gotta get home. You know, this was before cell phones. This was before all that. So there ain't no cell phone. Nobody can save me. All the teachers are gone. Everybody's gone except for daycare. Daycare was in the front of the school, split between where I was in the kindergarten area and where he was, where other, like, you know, 4th, 5th, 6th grade was. So eventually I look after Marion. He just kind of like fades. He like disappears. I don't know where he went. So I'm like, cool, this is my chance. I'm going to make a run for it at the front of the school. I can't go to the side because he's probably there. I'm going to make a run for it for the front and get out the front. So I'm like, kind of like lightly jogging, and I see my friend Greg. And like, you know, Greg is like, hey, OJ. And I'm like, oh my God, thank God, Greg. I'm like, dude, there was this crazy guy chasing me. Looks like he's no longer here. And he's like, yeah. He's like, wait up. And I'm like, yeah, let's go. So I'm kind of just like lightly jogging, and I see my friend Greg. And Greg catches up with me, and he looks at me and he goes, and he grabs me, and he's like, hey, Jared, he's here. And I'm like, you mother, I'm like, you two-timing bleep hole. How dare you? So I just reach back and I literally just smack him as hard as possible because he has a grip on me. He like grabs me like this. And I just smack him. Like I smacked the daylights out of him. Like literally, I reached back and I did like Little Mac. Like I hit him with the star KO, not a punch, just a smack because he's my friend, so I wouldn't punch him and I didn't want to hurt my knuckles. So I just smacked him and he let go because I hit him so hard. And all I see, we're tussling and I don't want to hit him. And I just see Jared once again running like T-1000, just like this, running at me like T-1000 after he was hiding in the bathroom. T-1000. And I'm like, ah! And I just freaking break free, smack the hell out of him, and I just take off. And I finally get away. When I get home, I am dirty because I've been on like the ground looking. I am tired. I am exhausted. And I get home, and my brother looks at me, and he's like eating a bologna sandwich. I'll never forget. He's like, looks at me up and down and says, "What happened to you, bruh?" And I looked at him, I'm like, I don't want to talk about it. And I took a shower. I got some food because I hadn't eaten since noon. We eat lunch at noon. It was like 6 o'clock. So I was hungry. I was starving. I probably burned 1,000 calories running around the school or running there, running back and forth, being scared for my life. Bro, the next day, I didn't waste no time. You know what I did? I went to school. I went straight to the office and told him, like, listen, Jared is going to kill me. We need to figure this out now. Bro, I went straight to the office and just told, bro. I don't usually do that, but you know, desperate times come for desperate matters, bro. So I just went straight to the office and told. I just went straight to the office, and we figured it out. Me and Jared actually ended up becoming cool later down the line, you know. So it was interesting, very funny story. But yeah, that's the type of stuff that I don't ever want to happen. That's the type of stuff that makes you, if you survive that, that's the type of stuff that makes you tough. That's what makes you resilient. Those are the type of things that you had to go through back in the day. That wouldn't happen in today's day because there's surveillance, there's stuff, like people would have just broke that up. It would have never happened in today's day. Like it just ain't gonna happen because of cameras. But back then, and cell phones and cameras will make it to where that won't happen in today's day. But back then, you were screwed. There was no cell phone, there was no camera, there was no anything, you know? Yeah, my friend being a double agent was the funniest thing is that me and Greg actually ended up being pretty good. We were still friends after that. I did slap him one more time when we were in 7th or 8th grade, when we were skateboarding. He made fun of me and I didn't like the way that he spoke about me, so I smacked him one more time at Burger King. But I mean, I think he had flashbacks of when I smacked him when we were in 4th grade. I smacked him again when we were in 7th or 8th grade. That's funny. Anyway, we had known each other. We'd skated together. He lived actually near me. He actually lived right in the next neighborhood over. I can get to his house in a couple minutes. But we also played football against each other. He went to one school. I went to the other school. We played football against each other for a couple years. And then we also played on the same team in college. We both went to the same junior college and we played. And we both went to the same 4-year university. We both went to Fresno State. And well, I played, but I tried to play. I didn't actually play, but I tried to play, but he didn't play. And we had tons of classes together. We had different coaching classes. We had different kinesiology classes together, and we were like good friends. Like we would hang out. When I went to Fresno State, the first time that I went to Fresno State, the first night there, I kind of had a little bit too much to drink, and he actually carried me back. The same guy that I smacked, the same guy for all those decade plus, you know, whatever. The same guy, he carried me back to my room and lied me down and everything. So, yeah, I don't know where he is now. I think if I look through my phone, I might be able to. Let me see if I can find him and say what up. I should probably say what up to him and see what he's up to these days. You know, I don't have his name in my phone for some reason. Yeah, I don't have it in. It should have been in here because I know we had each other's phone number, but it's not in my phone. So I don't know what he's doing or what he's up to, but I can probably find out. Probably say, yo, what's up, man? Come on the stream and talk about what happened. No, I wouldn't do that to anybody. Burger King. Yeah, it's something. We got into an argument about Burger King about something, so I smacked him. I forgot why or what the argument was about or what happened. I think he was making fun of my skating. I don't know. But I just smacked him. Let's see. In college, OJ would have just warned him with the "don't force me to do it a third time." We never talked about me smack. I don't recall us ever talking about me smacking him 2 times, you know? That's the funny thing. Sabotage was $5 dono. Let's go.
While you were running from T1000, was there another guy telling you to come with him if you want to live? Tears of joy.
That's what Greg was saying to me. He's like, hey, man, you're good. You know, that's what he was saying to me, bro. Triple platinum in the house. Let's go. That's what he was saying to me. So, I don't know, man. It's funny. You were arguing about the best Burger King kid. I think he was making fun of, because like he was better at skating than me, and I think I was trying to skate and he like made fun of like one of my tricks, or he was making something happened and I got mad and I smacked him. I think I smacked him with a cup, or like with the thing on a cup. I think I had it in my hand and I just like hit him with it. I don't know, like I said, I don't remember exactly why, or I don't remember exactly why. I remember where I was in front of the Burger King it's no longer there, but it's in front of the Burger King that was on a popular street leading to the mall. So yeah, we rode our skateboards there, and like my skateboarding crew was different from his skateboarding crew. Like I had a skateboarding crew that was in my cul-de-sac, and then he had a kind of a skateboarding crew that was like in his street, but we were right next to each other. There was a kid that I used to skate with that was really good named Steven, and like we shared, like my backyard was directly parallel to his backyard, so we weren't like direct neighbors, but we were like, you know, his backyard and our backyard, like it was right there, right? Like if you like, but behind us. So if I just went right over there, it took like, you know, a couple minutes to walk over, and we ended up becoming really good friends too. But I skated with Steven sometimes, and Greg also skated with him, but I didn't skate with Steven and Greg at the same time. So we were skating like with the people in my cul-de-sac, and then sometimes Steven would come over and skate with me, but Greg never came over and skated with me. He never did. Sometimes he would, sometimes he wouldn't. But when he did come over, it was always with like a bunch of people there, but it wasn't very often. So they were trying to say like, oh, who's better, right? Like they were trying to say, oh, we're better than you. And like Steven was better than me. He was better than everybody in our cul-de-sac. Like he was just better than everybody. But, and like he kind of was like split between skating with me and skating with them, but he mostly skated with them though, not me. Me and Steven, we would hang out, we would play video games together. Like we would play, that's the first time that I ever played GoldenEye. The first time that I ever played Blast Corps was at my friend Steven's house. Was at his house. You know, his parents were super nice. His dad and his mom were really, really, really nice. Tall. They were all tall, man. His dad was tall. His dad was like 6'3", 6'4". His mom was like 5'11", 6 foot. And Steven was also tall too. Steven was like 5'10" and like, I don't know, like when we were young, he was like 5'10", 5. He was always tall. Steven was always tall, and his sister was tall too. They were all just really tall. But anyway, super nice people, man. Super nice, like doesn't matter what race they are, but like really nice white family, you know. Treated me really good. Never said anything bad about me. Never, you know. And you know, back then it was back then. You know what I'm saying? Like back then you had some people that didn't want certain people around. But no, never them, bro. It was always good. They were always super nice. They were always like, you know, super cool to me. So it was great, you know. I had a lot of families, to be honest. Like, dude, I had a lot of families that treated me just like anybody else, and I'm super, super grateful for that, because not everybody had that, you know. So I'm really, really happy. Shout outs to Martin Luther King Jr. I think he changed so much. Shout outs to Martin Luther King. I don't think I would have what I have right now if it wasn't for Martin Luther King Jr. He really thought, a lot of people, old school, you know what I'm saying, like they really fought for us to be, for things to be better for right now. So you gotta give a shout outs, because I think it changed how people think, you know what I'm saying, to where now at this point you can have everybody, we were all different colors, we all skated, it was cool, it wasn't like any big deal. Like families would come in, like the people that skated next to me, they were white people, it was no problem, you know, where in the back of the day it was a problem for some people. So shout outs. Combo breaker to MLK, yeah, absolutely. Are you streaming Kirby Air Ride Direct tomorrow morning, player? Yes, I am. Did you ever skate with Tony Hawk because you were as old as him? Yeah, I skated with Tony Hawk back in the day. There used to be these 2 skaters that were really good. That skated for Kareem Campbell's brand, City Stars, that I would see every now and then. Everin and like Devrin, they were 2 like black guys. They were the best skaters that I've probably ever skated around. I never skated with them because they were way too good. They were out of my league. But I skated around them, and they were sponsored by Kareem Campbell's brand, City Stars. So that's probably the closest that I ever got to skating with somebody you know, really like professional level. I never skated like with, you know, any of the other like Tony Hawk or anything like. And I know you made a joke, but I'm just saying, like, that was the closest that I ever got, was like one of the people that was sponsored by Cream Campbell's brand City Stars, you know. Cream Campbell and Chad Muska were my favorite. Oh yeah, Cream Campbell, Chad Muska. I like Tony Hawk, of course. Rodney Mullen was my favorite skater of all time is Rodney Mullen. That guy's the freaking GOAT. I loved him. I was nowhere near as good as him, but I did learn how to do a Casper flip because of him, because I saw him do a Casper flip. So I worked so hard on doing a Casper flip. None of the other people in my crew could do a Casper flip, but I was the first person to like consistently, well, not consistent, I'd probably say like 1 out of every 6 attempts I could land a Casper flip, you know? So I was the only people that I know, or only person that I skated with ever that ever could do a Casper flip. You flip it like it's a kick flip, but instead of doing the full flip, you flip it on the top of your, well, depends on what, you know, if you skate goofy or not. I skate goofy. So I would flip it on my right foot. So the board, like the grip tape would be on your foot, and then you would kick it and it would flip over. So it would flip the board over and land. And that's what a Casper flip is. And I was the only person that knew how to do a Casper flip. Nobody else could do it in my crew. So, because I saw Rodney Mullen do it, and I thought it was the coolest thing ever. So I was like, I gotta learn how to do it. So I just practiced Casper flips for like 2-3 weeks. Everyone's like, why are you like, do kick flips, do heel flips, do, you know, pop shove it, do all those. And I was like, no, I need to learn how to do a Casper flip. So I would land Casper flips probably a little bit more consistently than heel flips or kick flips, you know? So yeah. Are you good at skating? I wouldn't ever say that I was good, but was I like, did I know? Like, yeah, I could do a lot of tricks. Like, I landed like a 360 flip. I only ever landed a 360 flip once because my left foot for some reason isn't that great. So like the direction that you need to like push the board for the 360 flip was hard for me. But I landed nollie 360 flips. I wouldn't say consistently, but I did a bunch of those because I used my right foot to push the board with the, like doing nollie where you move your foot over like to the front of the board. So I could do nollie 360 flips, but I couldn't do regular 360 flips, which was weird. But that was the case. But yeah, I could do a heel flip, not consistently at all, though. I never landed those, but I did one. I landed one before. Heel flip, kick flip, varial kick flip, nollie, 360 flip, Casper flip, pop shove it. Like the nollie kick flip sometimes, not really. And that's about it for like my board tricks. In terms of grinds, obviously like front side, tail slide, you know, board slide, 50-50, nothing really too much. I couldn't really do any of the advanced stuff like, you know, Smith or crooked or anything. Like I couldn't do any of those. Those were too hard. They're too hard. 5-0. I could maybe do a little bit of 5-0, but not really. So yeah. Yeah, fakie 360 flips, fakie and nollie, a little bit easier. I tried roller skating one time, landed so hard on my tailbone when I tried to pick me up, fell down. I was like, never skating again. Good old 90s, yeah. I used to rollerblade, but yeah, I mean, listen, I skated so that my legs were all scarred up from skating. So I was pretty hardcore. Like I would, you know, I would do some pretty interesting things. Like I wouldn't say I ever got good enough to be sponsored, nowhere close, but I was trying to be. But you know, I ollied like 7 steps. Like some of the stuff that I did was actually pretty impressive, which is why I wish that we had like camera phones and all that back then, because then I could have actually had it. But I literally have nothing of me skating back. Like I have 0 of me skating back in the day because we just didn't have anything. Like nobody had camcorders to record and all that. So I think I recorded one thing, but my friend had it and I don't even know where it's at. It's long gone at this point. Yeah. Interesting stuff. But yeah, I did like a, you know, and probably like my best trick, it was even like somewhat, I wouldn't say recently, but a couple decades ago, I went to go see my friend Snoop in San Diego, And like, you know, he was like, hey, let's skate a bit. So I still kind of knew how to skate. I was still doing a little bit. Like, all right, cool. And like, there was like this little 3-stepper, and I did a kickflip, and I landed a 3-step off the kick, like a kickflip off the stairs. I landed a Casper flip off the stairs, like after a bit of practice. So those are probably like my best tricks. Like, I did a kickflip off there. I did a Casper flip off there. I did like a 180, you know, off there. So yeah, but there used to be like this big 8-stepper at the junior high that I went to, and we would go there and we would ollie off of there, and like you'd have to get some speed and ollie off, and like I did that a number of times, and it was scary, but I did it, you know, and that was kind of crazy. You land and you're like, you feel like you're like one of like the big skaters, like when you do that, because like you never would have expected that you can do that, but if you practice enough and you fall enough, you'll get better. And by the way, I didn't wear a helmet, I didn't wear knee pads, I didn't wear shoulder pads. None of us wore helmets, knee pads, or shoulder pads. We were hardcore, dude. We did not wear the gear that we were supposed to. We would just wear, we didn't wear nothing. All right, take it easy, Shane. I'll see you tomorrow morning. Yeah, there's a direct tomorrow. It's at 6 a.m. PT. It's for Kirby Air Riders. Kirby Air Riders direct. Kirby Air Riders for tomorrow. Pads with suburb kids and soccer moms. So yeah. It's all good though, man. It's all good. It's funny. Good stuff. Damn, this 45-minute direct better be goated. I mean, if you like Kirby Air Riders, it'll probably be good, but we'll see, you know, we'll see how it goes. But I think we're gonna wrap it up here, guys. I've got to get to sleep because we've got Kirby Air Riders early tomorrow morning. So if you haven't checked out my most recent video, go check out my most recent video talking about Kirby Air Riders and talk about what happened between the the Metroid Prime 4 outrage. Go watch it. It's available right now, so you guys go check it out. Here is the link. I'll be discussing Kirby Air Riders tomorrow morning bright and early, so you guys can get ready for that. So yeah, thank you guys so much. Shout out to the JoJo boys tonight and Combo Breaks. You guys were incredible. Vadcent, Cyber Taurus, Sonic Slim. Thank you guys so much. Ben's 310, Justin, Vadcent, Zoo. Thank you guys so much, man. I appreciate Tony Rogers. Appreciate you guys, man. General Zamora, Jimmy J. Yo, big love, guys. Big love. Shout outs. Let's go. Great to see the people coming through from the weirdo videos. Switch sales have bottomed out. Switch sales are doing terrible. Based off of what? AI told me. What? You didn't check Amazon? You didn't check Best Buy? You didn't check Target? You didn't check like what the stock is? No. AI, and what AI said wasn't even right. They didn't even say what I'm saying that they're saying. Man, stop lying. Y'all be watching Nintendo and y'all be watching these stupid YouTubers that are sitting here trying to act like, trying to say stupid stuff. Oh my gosh. Anyway, Twitch 2 selling just fine, guys. It's going to be just fine. Or otherwise, this industry's screwed. PS5 is going to have a monopoly, and even then, the monopoly's not that crazy because it's not selling anywhere near as much as Switch 1. So nothing's going to sell. So I hope people are okay with that. Have at it. PS5 being the only system, I guess, right? Anyway, we can all enjoy Steam Decks now, right? That's what's going to sell. Anyway, shout outs, guys. Appreciate y'all. RTU told him. Yeah. Big love. Weirdos keeping it interesting. Yeah, they're keeping it interesting. I think Switch 2 is selling just fine. Obviously, it's not going to sell like the 3.5 million in 3 days. It's not going to be able to keep that pace. Like every 3 days sell 3.5 million. But I think it's probably 6-7 million at this point now. 7 million probably plus. So it's going to keep steadily adding It's more expensive. It's gonna keep steadily adding as it gets more games. It's gonna keep selling. It's a marathon. It's not a sprint. So people like to think of it as like a marathon. It's like, or as a sprint. Oh, they gotta sell 10 million or 10 million systems in one day. No, it's gonna be over the course of 5, 6, 7, 8 years that we're gonna see how it does. So I don't know why people are trying to act like the sales are bottoming out. No, it's not. It's selling what it's selling. People are buying it, and it's gonna sell more. Pokemon Legends ZA is coming out. Oh, by the way, Gen 10's coming out next year. So it's just weird. Like I said, people are just weird. Super Smash Bros. Is probably coming. Yeah, games coming. So, but anyway, like I said, if y'all want PS5 just to sell, and you want to just sit there and make up stuff, that's fine. We can do that. PS5 is gonna be the only system that sells. Okay. Xbox isn't selling. We know that. So I guess PS5 is the only system that's viable in today's market. Congratulations. I hope that works out for everybody. So anyway, shout out to guys. Appreciate you guys being here. Combo breaks. Love you guys. And we will see you for the next one. We'll see you guys tomorrow morning. I'll be streaming bright and early for the Nintendo Direct with Kirby Air Riders. It's going to be a lot of fun. All right, guys. Peace out. Love y'alls. Bye.